Yes, sir. And we're back. I'm back. Paper Route. Another episode of Paper Route, another week. I know I've been missing for, it feels like forever. It's only been 2 weeks. Corey, how has it been without me?
Man, it's been great. Your team's been
it's been great.
Your team has been holding it down. And Stak's been on a couple times since you've been gone too. We have some great shows. We had some great shows while you were gone. I ain't gonna lie. But you gotta tell us how your trip was, yo. How was your trip? You was in Paris? You was in Paris, and you also went to Africa.
Yeah, we were a little bit Is Stak on right now?
Yes, Stak's.
Stak's on. Can I get it? Can I see Stak, my brother? What up, bro?
There you go.
What up? He been traveling too a lot. He can't hear us. Stak can't hear us. But here's the deal, Corey. Mm-hmm. Amazing opportunity to go to Cannes. So Cannes, France, Cannes Lion. Cannes Lion is where all the advertisers, the marketing executives and the big agencies representing a bunch of the big brands. We're talking about the PepsiCos of the world. We're talking about the Nestle's. We're talking about, GMC, et cetera, Procter & Gamble. So it's like one big party, but you're sitting there mingling and connecting with some of the top decision makers. So that was a business trip, but it was also fun. Yeah. So we had a great time there. And then also, just shot over to Paris for a day. Okay. It was
there you go.
Stak.
Tell the truth.
Hey, it was nothing but a 90-minute flight, Stak. Have you ever been to Paris Fashion Week, Stak? Because me and you kind of similar dudes. We don't do fashion shows and stuff like that. So I had an opportunity to go over there. Have you ever done it?
Never.
Yeah. I mean, look, Stak, this is what we going to do next year.
No, we're not. Don't even do it. I'm not going.
That's what we're not going to do.
Let me tell you how we going to do it, though, because this is my first time, bro. So I'm in Cannes. It's an hour and a half away, right? 90-minute flight. Boom. So we shoot over there. I'm with Memphis Depay, huge European soccer player, known worldwide. So now we VIP everywhere. Like soccer players, they just move differently. NBA players, and NBA is similar because NBA y'all extend to Russia, to China, and then other parts of the world. Basketball can take you that far. Football, we're enclosed and just in the States, and maybe we push into Canada. We're trying to do London a little bit, the UK. But so anyways, we're over there, Stak, and everybody's there. And this was one of those legendary moments because Pharrell was there, the Louis Vuitton show. He's the creative director of Louis Vuitton. So we talk about the who's who in sports, in entertainment, in fashion, in business. Everybody was right there. And so Stak, we moved like bosses and kings. It was awesome to go there for, almost 48 hours. So next year, Stak, what I'm proposing is we go over there with the right people. We don't need to be sitting front side. That's not what we do, Stak. We like to buy nice things and dress clean. We not into fashion like these young boys are, right? But we can go over there. We can take our ladies. We can, have nice meals. We can do a little shopping. We can do a little sightseeing. You down for that or what?
I'm definitely down for that. I went to Croatia for all the smoke with Matt, and I stopped in Amsterdam for a couple of days. So I definitely know what you're talking about. Those little quick stops. I definitely enjoy myself. And we did some good shopping in Amsterdam, so I feel you.
There you go. What do you have against Fashion Week, Stak? Because it's like you push back heavy on fashion.
I'm just not. There's a lot of things that I'm good at, and there's a lot of things that I'm in. I'm just not the person to sit there and watch people walk around in clothes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into it. I rather call Coco Mama. That's her name on Instagram, Coco Mama. She helps me get all my clothes. I'd rather call her. She send me pictures of the same stuff that's at Fashion Week and just send it to my house.
Right. Stak, I don't see you as a dude that's into fashion like that. I see you as a dude that has style. How would you describe your style?
I agree, and people always ask me this, and I say this: my dress style is I dress like a '90s dope boy still.
Ashley's walking. Go ahead, Ashley. Go ahead. Come on in. She don't want to. Go ahead.
Ashley,
go now.
Hey, Ashley, come on in. I still dress like a '90s dope boy. I wear a lot of jeans, white tees, fitted caps. Yeah, you know what I mean? I throw some Louis on every now and then.
Can you hear Stak, Ashley, when he said he's a 90s dope boy?
90s dope boy is crazy.
Hold on, I come back.
That's accurate. I've seen him when I saw him at Iverson Classic. That's exactly how he was dressed.
Right. That's why the people love you. You know who you are. Ashley, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
We're fully aware.
I'm kind of happy to be back, but I'm also missing.
Oh, she's kind of mad too. Don't
go there.
I'm walking back into some beef.
I'm saying, them pictures you posted, and you know what I'm saying, Ashley on the homeland, that's normally your partner in crime. I don't know how all of a sudden that trip she get left out. I'm just asking.
That was a whole nother movement. That was something different. But you know, look, we can talk about it if you want, or we can wait. But Ashley, I was expecting to come back and you know, to you feeling better. You're still hobbling. What's going on with this foot?
I am feeling better. As Corey can attest to, sometimes timelines when it comes to healing in the body don't go according to plan. But I'm in a good space, and I'm hopeful that next week I'll be walking. So
is this messing up your summer?
No, tomorrow's July 4th. The summer's just started, so
okay. All right.
It could be worse. I look at it like this. I have a foot. Some people don't have feet.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed to be in that position.
I mean, look, you could have a torn Achilles. Got to be thankful.
That is true. And listen, I'm on crutches. I'm not, you know. You can still go outside with crutches.
Yeah, you alive and well. You good.
Well, you know, I was thinking about that because
somebody crossed you over. Who crossed you over? Sid?
No. First of all, don't try me. I'm not Brandon Marshall. I'm
trying to keep up. What's happening right now? Crossover?
I'm not Brandon Marshall. Ain't nobody crossed me over.
Wait, you know what? That's
okay.
Oh, basketball, real. Okay.
Ain't nobody ever crossed me over.
No, because we ain't even talking about that, Brandon.
We seen the footage,
it's your first day back. It's your first day back, but we're not gonna let you off the hook. You're gonna have to give us the play-by-play of what happened here. Go ahead, throw it to it, BC.
Oh Lord. Yo, so here's the situation.
Oh my goodness.
So here's the situation. That's Memphis Depay, big legendary footballer. A lot of us in America knows him, and I hate to say this because he's my brother, you know, and he's so far past this, but you know, he was the first to really put Lori Harvey on. Okay, so we.
Oh my God!
I don't know where he's going with it.
Are we serious right now?
That is not. We're not doing that.
That is not where I thought you were gonna go with.
All right,
this.
so he's really good. He's from the Netherlands. He played on the national team, and he's been on Barcelona, Spain, so many other teams. So we're in Ghana. And we're training. It's late night, and the whole city's out there, right? And so I'm feeling energized. You know how I am, Ashley. We did this with Angel Reese. Anytime there's a ball, a stick, any bat, like I want to be involved, okay? So I go out there in my Travis Scotts. We're on turf. It's slippery out there. Ghana's weather feels like Miami, okay? A lot of humidity there. Mm-hmm. So it's sticky. It's a little wet out there, all right? So he had cleats on. He got the best of me, but we'll run it back. So he got me. This dude makes probably like $50 million a year.
Yeah.
You got dunked on when using with Angela Reese too, so it's becoming a thing.
Oh shit! That footage, we do not have that footage. Cannot confirm or deny.
I have it.
No, you don't.
I for sure
yes, she does. Yes, she does.
You set yourself up going out there with some shoes on. Though,
I know.
That dude was quick. I'd have to give it to him.
He's quick as hell.
Yeah.
Like watching him train, to be honest, he reminded me of like a Tyreek Hill. He's not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he's quick. Like Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, some of those guys. I wasn't expecting him to have that much lateral explosion. It was pretty impressive. And, bro, I did the whole workout with him. In the warm-up, I thought we were done. The warm-up was like a whole deal. You know, these dudes go out there. They're playing 3 games a week, and they're running 90 minutes straight to 2 hours. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's little, right?
You got to be in a different type of shape to play soccer.
Sorry.
I mean, he looked
like
an average soccer size.
He's like little, right? He's
well,
like
I would
my height.
say I'm a large human being.
He's like my height, right?
I would say he's like OBJ. Is that little?
Is he that tall?
Oh, is he actually that tall?
I thought he was like 5'6", 5'7".
No. He may be an inch shorter than OBJ.
So he's my height because OBJ is like 5'9".
Okay, then he's your height.
Right? OBJ is like 5'9", right?
No, he's taller than that. Like
OBJ's.
I thought he's like 5'10", 5'11".
Is he?
But I don't know. Anyways, let's get
My
into
bad,
the show.
OBJ.
Let's
What
get
I think
into
he
the
was
show.
shorter
Paper route, we
Hey,
back, baby.
Man. We back. And I'm
back.
really glad to have Brandon
Yo,
back.
Hey, B, you lucky you're not on your show with your boys Cam and Mace no more, because they would have paused you a few minutes ago.
Hey, when I said I'm a large human being, I know.
No, lateral explosion was crazy.
That wasn't a pause moment. You think so?
Lateral explosion was crazy.
He honestly put himself out there with the second pause, I guess.
Yo, they got me on that show. They gave y'all a shout out too. You saw this post today. He gave you and Matt Barnes a shout out and a few other people that he respected in space, and then he told everybody else they on notice.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, it was a big weekend in free agency. We saw some names go to some new cities, so we'll talk about that. And Dame time is finally over in Portland. We'll talk about that too. But Stak, we got a date, and what I'm referring to is the Canelo fight. But we also
Yes,
received
sir.
another update to it too, right? Now it's not going to be Jamal Charlo. We were talking about this on
Mel.
Thursday. We're like, it's the smaller brother. He'd be going up 2 weight classes. Now they're talking about it's going to be Jermell Charlo. So he's the undisputed champ. Canelo's the undisputed champ. This is actually going to be the first time 2 undisputed champs face each other in the 4-belt era. What are your thoughts now with those changes?
I mean, I like it. I like it better. I mean, he's coming off a hand injury, but I spent some time with him, and he's in great shape, bro. He ready to fight. Undisputed against undisputed. I think that's dope. I think that's what the fans want to see. Gonna give the fans a great fight. Canelo haven't been pushed by too many guys. Mel gonna push him. Canelo's still a stronger fighter, I think. But the things that Mel can do in the ring, you know, the way the different punches he gonna bring, it's gonna be a great, exciting fight, man. I don't know who's gonna win it yet, because I still want to do a little homework. I still want to watch some more Canelo fights and watch Mel fights, so I can gauge them two going against each other. But it's gonna be a great fight. You know, I'm definitely going with Mel. That's Texas. That's my little brother. Right. But definitely a great fight for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, Stak, you're emerging as one of the top boxing voices, which is pretty cool. It's actually something that I wanted to do. I'm not jealous or envy of you, Stak, but it's something that I tried to get done. Like six years ago, I was like, yo, I really want to get in boxing. So it is impressive seeing how you've been able to navigate your way through boxing over the last 2 years, and the shows that you're producing is pretty dope. For people that don't know, this is an interesting matchup. This is an interesting fight. Ashley, we spent time with the twins, me and D-Jack, maybe a month and a half ago. That was a legendary episode for us. And we also hung out with them in Vegas. So, you know, and we know them. So we know the backstory. The bigger brother, Jermall, was supposed to fight. Hold on, we got instead of Jermall. Yeah, we got this correct. Jermall was supposed to fight Canelo, as you guys are saying.
Right.
And this has been something they've been working on for the past year or two. Right? He's the bigger brother. He's the older brother. He's the stronger one. They're in different classes. They have different skill sets. And Canelo, right, is in a different stratosphere. So this is going to be a tough fight for Jermell. Now, Jermall, the reason why he hasn't been fighting, and he spoke about this publicly, and he spoke about this on our platform, he's been dealing with his own personal challenges, shit that we all deal with, things that's happening at home. You know, he's taking care of his children. He's taking care of himself. So he's been on ice for 2 years. So when that came out, I was like, this doesn't make sense, because when we talked, he was like, yo, I got to get a couple warm-up fights, and then I want this. So he was talking about Canelo just 6 weeks ago. But his brother, and it's interesting, you see them two going back and forth, Stak, where he's like, nah, bro, like, you know, that's me. And he's like, nah, I need to get him right now. I'm going to do this for us, right? That's the big fight. It's going to be a big bag. And so he's been trying to get this Canelo fight before his brother get off of ice. So this is going to be interesting, because this is not how it's supposed to happen. Jermell, he's a different breed. This dude is the type of guy, Stak, as you know, that he'll fight to the death. And I think that's the thing that he has going for him. But when we talk about pound for pound, we talking about skill for skill. Man, Canelo has the edge, and this is the homie, but I got to keep it real.
Yeah, Stak. I want to really get your thoughts on this, because I mean, Brandon made the best point there. We're talking about Canelo Alvarez. He's arguably one of the best pound for pound fighters of all time. Not to mention that, you know, he really fighting him at 168. You know, he's typically fighting at 175. He's almost even dipped into cruiserweight. We're talking about 200 pounds, and he's a guy, he probably walks around at 200
And Mel's
pounds.
never fought over 170.
Never fought over 170. Yeah. So, I mean, he's also moving up in a weight class to fight Canelo. Like, what's going to be Charlo's game plan? Like, what does he have to do if he wants to, you know, come out victorious against Canelo? Because to me, it has nothing to do with skill. We're talking about guys who are just at different sizes.
Well,
it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a grind for him. You know, definitely gonna be his biggest payday. That's one plus out of it's gonna be the biggest payday. But I think the fight with Canelo is just a stronger puncher. He's just a bigger guy, and he's gonna have to withstand a lot of punches and a lot of pain, because not only is he strong, but Canelo is fast too.
Yeah.
You know, he got quick hands, and over the years his defense has become better. So with Mel going up to fight him, and Canelo has went up in weight and fought bigger guys and been able to take those punches, and those guys couldn't knock him out. I think Mel has to come with a different game plan that nobody expects and pull a rabbit out of his hat, because this is going to be the toughest fight of his career. And, the odds and the way you're looking at it is looking like it's going to be an easy win for Canelo.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I never go against the culture. I'm always going to bet with us, right?
Of course.
And so I'm going with Mel. And as we talk about, the size, maybe this is a pause moment. I don't know. Let you guys be the judge. But you got to note that Jermell is taller, a couple inches, 2.5 inches, and has a longer reach. So he does have that advantage. But when Stak is talking about size, like, he's just heavier. Like you said it, Corey, he walks around heavier. He's fought at 175. And that one of his losses, Canelo, I don't know if it was his only loss, but that was the problem. He went up too much.
Yeah.
Right? But this dude is a dog. And so is Mel, though.
He still didn't get hurt in those fights, though. He wasn't hurt in those fights.
He really held
Right.
his own. Yeah.
Right. I was shocked. I mean, you think about Canelo, you think about dude being undefeated. And it's interesting how boxing is now, Stak. If you lose a fight, it's like you're over. Like if Gervonta Davis lose a fight, everybody's like, oh, he's not Gervonta Tank Davis. What's your thoughts around, being undefeated or maybe losing one or two? Are you still that guy if you drop one? If Canelo or Jermell dropped it, loses, well, someone has to lose. Are they still that guy?
Yeah, they still. I mean, I've never been the guy that respects boxers that hide behind that O and try to protect that O, because in order to be the best, you got to fight the best. Everybody has lost. Right, but that don't take away from, if you lose to the greats, that don't take anything away from you. You lost to one of the best ever,
right.
But you're still one of the best ever because you got in that ring to fight. And that's why you think Marvin Hagler, he's not as known and talked about as Sugar Ray Leonard, but he's respected the same because they know he got in there with all the greats. And he is one of the greats. But I think for the most part, we getting away from that era where guys are trying to protect that. Right. We're getting into the era where guys are willing to fight. That's Bud Spencer era where guys are willing to fight and give the fans what they want to see and get those big paydays. You know what I'm saying? But they want to test their skills in this era, and I love that. And the fact that Mel is taking this challenge to it is showing that we getting out of that era of guys protecting their O's.
I gotta be honest with you, Stak. If I was a fighter, I would embrace the Floyd Mayweather approach, right? And Floyd was very strategic on who he fought and when he fought him. When he fought Sugar. When he fought Shane Mosley, when he fought Pacquiao, when he fought some of these guys, like he made sure it was the perfect time for him. Look, it's a business. I keep saying that, and hopefully these guys don't go too far left where it's like, forget this. I want to go and fight against the best. If you have that on your side, bro, there could be some big business opportunities for you. You saw what Floyd was able to accomplish throughout his career, and he's still going. So I know you might not respect it, bro, but, like, we're talking about fighters making 50. Because, like, if you take a loss, now how do you get to making $50 million, a fight? Like, that's what I'm trying to aim for. That's what Tank trying to aim for.
But you got to think about this, B. Everybody's not Floyd Mayweather. Everybody's not flamboyant. Everybody can't be who Floyd is. Like, Floyd was that naturally. So he sold himself, and he understood that. A lot of these fighters don't think that. A lot of these fighters don't have no social media presence, which they need today. That's a lot of them don't understand how to promote themselves, right? So just like Regis Progress says, he's like, I'm not really in protecting no O either. I want the big fights. They want these big fights because they know they can protect that O for 10, 15 years and won't get those big money fights. The big money fights is risking that O, and I think they understand in that.
Right.
All right, moving on, but to stay on the topic of fighting, I think this news came out when you were out of town, Brandon. There's a chance Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg may happen in the Coliseum in Rome.
Like
who you
hell
got
it
interested?
will.
Say it again?
I said like hell it will, not my home country it won't.
Oh, no.
Not interested.
You don't approve, Ashley?
You don't want to see it?
I think we got a picture of the Coliseum.
Gladiators used to fight there, like to the death. That's blasphemy. Don't.
But my thing is, where is this fight even going to take place
without
this falling apart?
They have events there. No, Corey, they build a makeshift stage in the center of the Coliseum.
Exactly, but like with the fight like this, because in my opinion, this might be like the fight of human existence.
It's really not. It's really not.
No, this ain't gonna be the most like think about it. The following that both of these guys.
Nobody. I promise.
Wake up, Stak.
Nobody cares.
Stack, you know you're going to be watching it, and you know your ass going to take your Showtime show, and you're going to sit down with both of them. You want this fight to happen, Stack. You want this because you want that sit down.
It's going to do numbers.
No. Literally could not think of a worse idea.
I would not be watching that.
I have news of the day.
Do you? Okay.
Today is Cooper's first birthday, everybody. Cooper is my puppy, and I bought him a present today. Yeah. Will you want to zoom in on this? Oh, no, look, I can put it up here. A Cowboys jersey.
Oh, wow.
All right, yes,
yeah. Look at Cooper with his Cowboys jersey on. He's ready for football season.
Is that just a Cowboys jersey or is that a player?
No, so it's just a regular Cowboys jersey. It says Dallas, obviously. It's from the NFL shop, but it's not a player's. It's just 00 on the back. But yes, Cooper is 1 today, and he is ready for football season. He is a Cowboys fan, in case you didn't know, just like his mom. And then, so happy birthday, Coop. Everyone in the studio has met Cooper. Were you here?
I bet you haven't.
Oh, you haven't. Only Brandon.
Remember, I thought he was like some little teacup.
Everybody but Corey.
Everybody but Corey. Yeah. Cooper is very friendly. Yeah. He's very friendly.
Well, the first thing I want to say is happy birthday to Cooper. I know Cooper makes you happy. He's a huge blessing to you and your family.
I love Mike Cooper.
But you know me, Ash, and we kind of cut from the same cloth as like transparency and being honest.
You don't like dogs?
Why the hell would you do this to him? Like your dad did it to you, and now you're gonna do it to your baby. Like he could have been a fan of any other team. You're gonna put him through the Cowboy curse? That's how you want him to spend his life. Stack, you notice you got kids. We want to put our kids in a position to win.
Cut it out. We've been winning the Super Bowl.
Talk about it, Stack. Talk about it, Stack. Let him know.
Why are y'all doing it?
Don't do that with me.
Y'all tripping.
You know, I'm from Texas. I am loyal. I'm a Cowboy fan. We're going to win the Super Bowl every year until we
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So Cooper is a Cowboys fan just like his mom, his sister, and his dad. So
who's Cooper's favorite player? Because you know now, back in our day, we were fans of teams. That's it. Now because of fantasy football and social media, we have people following players. So it's Cooper.
Cooper is a big CeeDee Lamb fan.
Oh, that's okay. Cool.
He's a big CeeDee Lamb fan.
All right.
No, like you said, B, that's unfortunate that you made him a Cowboys fan.
Aren't you a Dolphins fan, Corey?
Moving on. Patrick Mahomes, last piece of news.
1974, right?
Last piece of news before we get into the NBA.
Oh, 73. Apologize. Apologies. Don't come for me.
I bet you the Dolphins get more wins than the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. 1973.
Oh, that's
a bet, right?
That's a great prop bet.
That's a bet.
Bet Corey dinner.
Oh, that's a bet. Yeah.
Who's tracking this? Remember, before I left, I know you guys were happy that I was gone for 2 weeks. Everybody's like, yes, we needed a break from Brandon.
Not at all.
Before I left, I talked about tracking all of our bets so we can come back to it, right? And being honest. So Stak just proposed a bet. He said dinner. All right, who's going to have the most wins? The Cowboys
or the Dolphins?
Or the Dolphins, right? Yeah. So can we write that down? Yeah. Woo, thank you so much.
We're going to start a running tab.
We'll come back to that.
Bet going too for the first 5 games. Between Ashley, BC,
oh yeah, we do.
And Corey.
Okay.
So Ashley thinks the
I don't think I was in it, was
1
it?
and 4.
Okay.
You were in it.
I was. But what do I get out of it, though?
It's going to be 4 and 1. And Corey thinks we're going to be 2 and 3. Whoever loses has to wear the other person's jersey.
I like that.
Okay, I do.
I like that.
I do remember that.
Okay. All right.
Well, like I said,
guess who won't be having to wear a Daniel Jones jersey? This girl, because I'm gonna win.
I'm mad. I'm gonna have to do something based off of the Giants. That's crazy that I got tied myself into that.
I also have one going with D-Jack too for the 2 times that the Cowboys and the Eagles play each other. Yeah. So I'm in deep football season. Here we go.
Yeah, you are.
It's about to be a war zone in here.
No, for real. All right, before we get into some of the NBA stuff, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey, they beat Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in the match. Mahomes and Kelsey came out strong with winning 4 out of the first 6 holes and beat the Warriors. So they kept their winning tendencies alive. You can't really see it.
First and foremost, what's in the Tiffany's box? That's what I'm looking at. I know no men probably noticed that, but that's the first thing my eyes went to. The teal box in their hand.
Tiffany blue?
What's in that box? That's what I want to know.
And I hate that you guys can't see it, but did you guys notice that Patrick Mahomes is starting a leg sleeve?
Hold on, what?
Yeah, Patrick. You can't see it. You see the very top of the lower third. That's like the end of his leg.
Really?
What's wrong with the legs? What's wrong with the leg sleeve?
I think it's just funny that's where you start, right, B? Well, I don't know. You
know what's also crazy?
Can you imagine a tatted Patrick Mahomes?
Why is Clay legs the only one different?
What do you mean? A pause? Is that a pause?
Oh yeah, that's pause. That's a pause.
Let's
Let's pause that, and now let's go back to the picture.
Because he made me look at the leg tag. Let's go back. Why does he have the only different color legs?
Because he's lighter. What are you, a racist?
Travis Kelsey is up there.
What are you, a color? Travis Kelsey was probably outside in the sun.
That is interesting, though.
That's an interesting find.
Right.
That's an interesting find.
I think
he's light skinned. What color do you want his legs to be?
The same as Steph Curry.
So what's the question here? Yes, Corey, for me, I was following, what was happening in America as I was traveling over the last 2 weeks. And this was definitely one of those things that, I was following. Curry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Curry and Clay was like the big favorite, but Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey stole it from him.
That's my only takeaway from this, or the only thing I can contribute is that I was shocked to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey win this. When you see Steph Curry just a week ago, I think he hit his first hole-in-one. Right? Like he hit a hole-in-one, or he hit some crazy shot from far, maybe 100 feet out, went right into the hole, actually put it past the hole, put some English on it, and it spent back into the hole.
It's crazy.
I know Clay plays. I thought he would be the X factor, but I thought Steph Curry was strong enough to carry him, because I know Patrick Mahomes play, and I think Travis Kelsey, he just look at Travis Kelsey. Like, he reminds me of a dude. He's out there chugging bears and shit. I didn't think he was going to be able to hold his own out there. Yeah. So I was shocked that they didn't get the W, Stak and Ashley.
NFL, I'm not. On the NBA.
I'm not. Actually, Mahomes he actually blew the game and gave Steph Clay a chance to come back and win. He had a putt that he blew. Mahomes, he blew a putt. He blew a putt to actually seal the game and give Stephen another chance to actually win it. And then Stephen blew it. If you look at it,
was it a difficult putt?
It wasn't a chipper, but it was a putt that Mahomes can hit.
Wow.
And he missed it to seal the game early. And Stephen had a chance to come back and win it, but they still blew it.
Wow.
Well, luckily for them, it was the match and not the PGA Tour. You know what I mean?
So, did you guys watch? Okay. Did you guys tune in at all?
I did not watch.
Did you tune in, Stak?
I watched about 4 or 5 different YouTube highlights.
Okay. I'm surprised that you guys didn't go cover it. You and Matt Barnes, all the smoke. Like, it seemed like that was something.
I'm cool. That's to be honest, you know what I'm saying? I know we good at. That's my boy J.R. Smith lane. They need to have him on a PGA Tour and doing all that, because he really brought that, bringing it to the HBCU,
to the culture.
And, really talked about it as a basketball player. Yeah, he's really one of those guys that really does this. So if anybody should be up there getting the flowers and getting those experiences, it should be J.R.
I love that. Well, they're talking, Corey, about running it back. That's one of the things that Steph Curry said. He said, look, we lost. It's disappointing, but let's run it back. So I think we're going to see it next offseason.
Yeah, as competitive as those guys are, I wouldn't put it past them. But all right, let's get into some NBA stuff.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
We have some breaking news before we get into that.
Oh.
Anthony Edwards, who just signed to WME, by the way. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. Welcome to the fam. Is finalizing a 5-year maximum contract extension that can reach up to $260 million. So shout out to Ant-Man.
He secured the bag. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's smart, Minnesota, smart.
Yeah.
They made some additions here in free agency too. We'll talk about free agency in a little bit. But the biggest story of the weekend, after spending his first 11 seasons of his career in Portland, Damian Lillard finally officially requested a trade from the Trailblazers. Lillard has made it clear, right, that he wants to go to the Heat, but the 76ers, Jazz, and Clippers have also been linked to Damian Lillard. Is it about time? Is it about time? You saying the Nets too? Yeah, so the Nets.
No Lakers?
Well, the Nets. Well, and that was the question that I had too, because now they're saying that they might need to involve a third team.
They're going to have no choice.
Yeah, they're going to have no choice. But I mean, just your initial thoughts on Damian Lillard requesting a trade, Stak.
Better late than never. You can say you loyal, you can say all that, but everybody get fed up, man. And I know Damian Lillard real well. I know his personality, and everybody wants to be the best in this game at least once in their career. Right? You don't want to just be a guy that's scoring points. You're going to make the money. You're going to have a great numbers. You're going to be Hall of Fame. But not having that trophy, that does something to every player. Charles Barkley can talk about it, but every time, the only thing people can say bad about him is about that. And that's every time Shaq says something, it bothers him. So I think in the back of Damian Lillard's mind, he know if he go to Miami somewhere with Jimmy Butler in the East, he got a great chance to win the championship. And he in Miami in the East, he can have a great chance to win an MVP of the league also. So, I don't think Damian Lillard is buying that, bringing Scoot in, and him and Scoot being able to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I think since in the back of his mind, he think they're coming in trying to start the Scoot era. So, you know what I mean? So he needs to get out of there and let them have that and go on and try to build himself and finish his career on a good note. So I'm happy Dame do it, and I'm happy Dame did it. It's just too late. I wish he would have been done like 3 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I agree that we're going to need a third team because Miami, you know, it's been reported that that's his preferred destination. It's Miami or bust, allegedly, is what the quote is. And I happen to know one of the players who's been recruiting him pretty well, and it's pretty likely that it's going to happen. So congratulations, Corey. Really? Wow. But the only thing is that they don't have enough assets, right? Tyler Hero's not enough to move that needle for a Damian Lillard. And I know people will say, well, Damian Lillard's over the age of 30. It's still Dame time, and you're going to want a big return for that. And as much as, you know, we say that the players run the league, it is still a business, and we have seen time and time again organizations not trade a player to their preferred destination out of spite. Look at Kyrie Irving in the Brooklyn situation. Everyone knew Kyrie wanted to go to LA. What happened? He was traded to Dallas. He ultimately re-signed with Dallas recently, but that's not where he necessarily wanted to go. We've seen that story play out. So you're supposed to honor a superstar's request. That's like the unspoken rule in the NBA. When they say, I want to be traded here, you're supposed to honor that, especially a player like Dame, who's given you loyalty for so many seasons. But we've seen organizations screw over players before. So in order to make sure that this is foolproof, there needs to be a third team involved because Miami doesn't have enough to go ahead and give Portland a return on that. I personally don't see him. I don't see another option for him besides Miami. That's the most championship ready team. I think if he goes to Brooklyn, it would look cool on paper, but he'd be ultimately in the same situation he'd be in Portland. You'd have a cool team, a bunch of cool pieces, but that team's not going to win. Right. They're not necessarily completely rebuilding, but they're far away from where they were when KD and Kyrie were there. They're like a limbo team. They'll be a lower seed team, maybe a play-in team. They'll win a game or two, you know, in a series, but they're not winning a chip. Miami's the only thing that makes sense. It's just a matter of how you make that happen. And I think it's going to be, you're going to need a team like Toronto involved. You're going to need a team like Brooklyn involved. You're going to have to move some pieces around. That's the only way this works.
Yeah.
Listen, go ahead. Hey, before you go, B, let me say this. I think the Lakers going to make a late push. And the reason why I say that, they made all these moves, and they looking at their roster now, and they got a whole bunch of nice pieces. But when you look at those, that's not no championship team. Especially the way Denver just ran through y'all, especially how other teams are getting better. If you look at the Lakers roster, that's not it. You got some great pieces, but that's not it to be a championship team with LeBron getting older and older every year and an unreliable AD. You need another star. I think they're gonna make that late push because they do have all the pieces, Ashley, but they don't need to make a third team. They have enough pieces right there on that roster to get a Dame, and I have a feeling that the Lakers gonna make a late push.
But do they have enough pieces after signing Austin Reeves? They just signed Rui Hachimura. There's another player that they brought back.
That's enough pieces.
Gabe Vincent just signed. So if you move those pieces,
D'Lo
just re-signed. So if you move those pieces to say Portland to get Dame, that's great. But then you're in a situation much like Phoenix, much like the Brooklyn Nets. You have a very top-heavy offense and no supporting cast. So does Dame want to? That's essentially what the problem was in Portland at one point. It was him, CJ, and I'm drawing a blank on the third guy that was there. But that's essentially the same issue, is that you have you have like three people, but no bench. And I know Brandon Marshall hates the word depth, but that matters. You need that to win. We've seen that.
It matters long term, but not for a series.
But no team will have to worry about it. Nobody will have to worry about with Denver next year, because Denver lost all their key players.
No, did they?
No, they lost. They only lost Bruce Brown.
Yeah, they lost Green too.
Jeff Green, but Jeff Green's like 95 years old.
He is. He was.
But that's a big piece.
He's a key part.
But he was a big piece of that puzzle.
But you can get his contribution back in younger elsewhere.
You
could. You may not get
leadership.
Yes, you can't get it. You can't replace his leadership. You can't replace his experience. But in terms of productivity, It wasn't like he was dropping 50 points a game. You can get that productivity elsewhere.
I hate this conversation on the sports talk fucking radio shows and TV shows where we overlook leadership. And I'll be quick here because it's not a big deal. But like, man, if you watch the Nuggets, there was 2 players that was yelling on the sideline. There was Joker had a moment, and then you had Green had a moment. Uncle Green had a moment where he was like, yo, it's not over. Finish. And that's what you miss is that glue in the locker room to keep people together. Joker obviously is the face of that franchise, but then you have a guy like Green. He's from America. He speaks English. He's probably more relatable to the rest of the guys in the locker room. So he might be that. He might have been that guy that was able to be that glue. So you know,
Jokic speaks English.
I know he speaks English, but I'm saying like there's definitely a cultural gap between Joker and a guy from America for sure.
I mean, yeah, but the Nuggets just signed one of the Holiday brothers.
I mean, Justin. I don't think it's a big deal, but I just like I hate how we glance over older players and leadership and how important that is.
That's why DeAndre Jordan went back. B?
Huh?
That's why DeAndre Jordan went back.
That's right. You got that? I mean, look.
I'm not negating. I agree with you completely. I'm not taking away from him his leadership. Right. I'm just saying in terms of productivity, like X's and O's, points, it's not like you can't replace that. Now, yes, will you miss some of his leadership? Sure, but that's where Jokic is supposed to step up. That's where Jamal Murray should step. Guys who just won the championship, like, yo, let's do this again. That's their responsibility. But in terms of points, it's not like Jeff Green was such an instrumental part of the offense that point-wise you can't replace him.
Right. My only thoughts here with the Dame Lillard situation, I think it works in LA if they can figure it out.
I think it works best in Miami.
But it definitely works best in Miami. I think just the culture was on full display this postseason of how powerful Pat Riley and Coach Spo is, right? And then you also have Alonzo Mourning, who's also there. He's right hand to Pat Riley. Jimmy Butler still has a few good years left in him, great years left in him. I think Bam still has an opportunity to even get better and learn from this postseason run and, the experiences that he had thus far. You add Dame, this could be a very good run and a very good situation for everyone involved. Because I don't think the East is that strong. I do like the moves the Bucks did. What moves? They ain't really do much. They just brought their guys back. They signed Chris Middleton, made sure that he didn't go anywhere. But you have the Bucks is strong. I'm not afraid of Philly. James Harden is supposed to be shipped to the Clippers.
It depends on what version of Philly you get.
Who are you going to you don't have any?
I mean, I think the seeds you have to look out for in the East is
it's the Celtics
it's Boston.
and the Bucks.
I think the top seeds are going to be Boston, Milwaukee, Miami, New York.
Oh my God! Bro.
So the Knicks aren't going to be a top 5 seed in the East.
Problem.
Are we for real?
Oh, we're talking about championship.
The Knicks aren't going to be a competitive team in the East. Is that what we're saying?
There's a lot of competitive teams.
We watched the Knicks last season, who were seeded better than the Miami Heat, but we're going to disrespect them on this. We're going to disrespect them on this platform right now.
That's exactly what we're going to do. It's not disrespect.
I didn't react. Stak didn't react. I think we're giving the New York Knicks respect.
Okay, I'm just saying we're not going to disrespect the Knicks on this platform.
Okay, all right. I won't disrespect them, but
we just brought in White Chocolate, DiVincenzo, like
Villanova.
Okay, we got the Villanova Wildcats reunited. Like, let's not disrespect the New York Knicks. We're not going to do that.
That lets you know why they're not going to be successful. You take Villanova backcourt on the NBA team, and you think that's going to get you over the hump. That's crazy.
I don't think the Knicks are a championship team, but I think that you're going to see the Knicks in the playoffs once again. I think that this is a playoff team for many seasons to come until they can get that one piece that's going to take them over the hump to a championship. This is not a team. This is not a team that's just going to disappear next season. They're a team that's going to compete, that's going to be relevant.
Really good, but there's a difference between a playoff teams and championship teams. There's a lot of great playoff teams, but as we're talking right now, we're talking about, we say get over the hump, we're talking about championship. So the only teams in the East that I feel the Heat should look out for if they have a Dame Lillard is the Celtics, and you have the Bucks. Who else? Philly, come on, man.
I was just talking about competitive teams in the East, and I said that the top 4 or 5 teams are going to be Miami, New York, Boston, Milwaukee, and I always give them benefit of the doubt because of Joel Embiid, Philly. Those are the 5 teams that are going to be the most competitive. Everything else is just going to be so drastically is going to be a drastic difference between the top 5 and the rest of them, it's not going to matter.
I'll say this before y'all move on. We missed out on a huge business opportunity when Messi came to Miami, right? We saw the Messi effect. Now, Dame Lillard, I don't think he's half of Messi as far as from a cultural, global impact. Messi comes and Messi changes everything in the whole MLS, right? From ticket sales, jersey sales, et cetera, et cetera. If we actually invested in season tickets for the Inter Miami, like we would be millionaires, okay? So Dame is going to come. You say you have inside information.
Who said that we didn't invest in Inter Miami?
Hey, yo,
I like that.
I'm just saying.
I'm lucky already.
Just don't speak for yourself. Some of us saw it coming.
I stand corrected. So all I'm saying is this, Ashley. You know, you're in Miami. I see every once in a while you go to you're a Knicks fan, but every once in a while you pop up at Heat games. Mm-hmm. This might be the moment for you to invest in some nice seats because when Dame comes, that ticket price is going to go up.
Okay, I'm not gonna. First of all, I don't pay for tickets, so why would I invest in tickets? Second of all, I can't invest in season tickets for the Miami Heat. That's a little bit too far.
But that's going to be a hot ticket, though. It might. Will it be a hotter ticket than seeing Tua, Tyreek Hill, the chosen one, and Waddle, or you got, Dame and Jimmy Buckets? What's going to be the hotter ticket? It's going to be a hot ticket.
I mean, I feel like basketball is always the hotter ticket, but that's just
shit.
I feel like it's just more enjoyable. Can we be honest? We're all football and basketball fans
Stak gonna be honest.
Can we be honest? When it comes to enjoyment of watching a game, okay, in real time, like real life, I'm the firm believer that watching basketball in real time is a lot more enjoyable than watching football. There's only a few parts hold on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on. Let me say why. Let me say why. There's only a few parts on the field. I mean, within a football stadium that you can actually get a whole peripheral of the game. If you're too far away, you might as well just watch it at home. Okay. Basketball, for the most part, anywhere in the arena, you can really watch that game in full capacity. You can absorb the whole thing. Football, if you're not on the 50-yard line, if you're not in those first couple of seats, 100 section, suites, you don't really get to enjoy. You might as well just go watch it on a flat screen. The environment is dope. I'm talking about from a visual perspective of actually being able to watch the game X's and O's.
Let's stack X's and O's. Let's hear his perspective because he's a sports connoisseur. Go ahead, Stak. Tell the truth too.
Is, what sport do I like to watch more
in person
time between football and NBA?
Live, yes.
Live for me is the NFL.
Really?
No, I didn't know she meant live.
I sat on the sideline actually and watched NBA games on the sideline my whole life. Like that NFL, I get something out of it. I never got a chance to experience that, like the action and all that, being at a game like that. I love that more, Ash. I'm sorry.
Dang.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I'm a basketball player, so.
Yeah.
I just feel like I can't absorb the game the same. Like when I'm watching it at home, I can see things that I can't see in person.
Right.
Like I can see every angle of the field. I can see this deep. I can't really
absorb that. You got a point there.
You know what I mean?
Point there.
Yeah.
When I watch basketball, I can actually see everything even better than I can on TV. In football, that's hard to do in real time.
I would say you're right. I understand what you're saying. I would rather watch football at home in my living room than live, right? Because like the broadcasters.
You played it, duh.
No, but it's what Ashley. It's what Ashley's saying though. Like, you can see this matchup, or you can see.
Right, I can't see that in real time.
I can see the cylinder of the defense, and I might be speaking too technical, but I can see certain things where I'm like, oh shit, this is cover 3. That safety's rocking here. This is about to happen here. This dude is rocking here, so this might be pass. So I can see the game a little bit easier. But to me, if we're talking about playoff basketball, if we're talking about basketball after like the April 1st, I like that basketball, but that product y'all put out in November, December, and January is trash. I don't like that. Like playoff basketball.
You are the reason that they started this stupid in-season tournament for the NBA.
Yes,
People like you. Because you are a casual.
Yes.
Because we need to get the casuals watching to get the ratings up. Because people like Brandon Marshall don't watch until April 1st. So the rest of us basketball fans have to suffer through this stupidity so that we can entertain y'all.
Did they pass it?
Yes.
No, B, you out of fucking shit up.
Just ridiculous.
Stak, you know that basketball, that product they putting out, bro, in January is trash, bro. Like,
I agree.
They had to do something, man. If the game is too good, I would actually say this too. I like playing basketball more than I like playing football, right? And that's always been that for my entire. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, I'm not saying I'm Stak. I'm not saying I'm LeBron. I'm just saying.
Same way though. I like playing football. I like playing football more than basketball because I've done it for real. So I get what you're saying. You play football for real, so you want to do something different.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The game is beautiful, man. Like the game of basketball is just like I feel like you can control. I have control of the outcome more. Like one player can go out there and just you get hot.
Absolutely.
Shit, I hit a couple threes in a row. That changed the whole game, the flow of the game. Defensively, communicating. Stak, get back. See, y'all don't know I know. Stak, go. He's coming.
Screen left.
Yeah, I'm communicating, Stak.
I got a small story for y'all. So when I got suspended by the league for the brawl, right, in Detroit. So I'm in Indiana, I'm suspended 30 games. So I had like about 7 of my homeboys that was out there living in different apartments with me. So I had all of them come over. It's like 4 feet of snow. Tony Dungy lived right next door to me. I got all my homeboys and I called a couple other friends. We're playing tackle football at 11 at night.
Tackle football.
8 on 8 in my
in the
backyard.
Snow?
I'm talking in the snow, hard down tackle. People hopping up, talking about their leg broke. Like we out there going hard. Tony Dungy look out the window, just shaking his head. We out there. I'm talking about the quarterback got a blunt in his mouth. Like it was so much fun, dog. Jermaine O'Neal pulls up because he was going to dinner with his wife or somebody. He pulls up to my house because I think he was asking me to go or something, and he seen us. He called me. I think he called Al, and then they called me. He's like, bro, you cannot be doing that right now. Bro. You cannot be out there with your Mike Big jersey on in the snow. Something happened to you while you on suspension, bro. It's gonna be over for you, dog.
Yo, that's a legendary story.
That's how much I love football.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I can legit visualize like Stak like, all right, go, Kill.
Yeah, right.
All those images just went through my head too.
Snap. You know,
so funny.
You said where he was at, right? Tony Dungy, Indiana, Indianapolis.
Out there.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, he probably out there. Omaha.
Yes.
Were you the receiver, tight end, DB, free safety? What position were you playing?
I was a quarterback and running back.
Damn, running back. You tripping.
Yeah, quarterback and running back.
Did you get tackled?
Yeah, we was. I'm talking about a couple of my friends got hurt where they was limping for 4 or 5 days.
Oh man!
All right, you know what? You see, we talk about Ja Morant and all these other athletes. See, you know, you didn't have the right people around you. Why the hell was your friends out there trying to hit you? They supposed to be like, nah, bro, you got the bag. Right. We can't hit Stak. What?
Stak,
don't touch him.
Hey.
Nah, I love it though. That's dope.
That's dope story.
We have a poll up on I Am Athlete's Twitter page right now. Which is more enjoyable to watch in person live? So make sure you guys go ahead and vote. JP will monitor that, and maybe we'll have some results before the end of the show. So head over to the I Am Athlete Twitter page and cast your vote so we can see where everyone's kind of residing.
Really not fair, Ash, because you got way more NFL fans than basketball fans. They sit, 80,000 in the arena? We do 30.
Right.
That's true.
But
I will say the atmosphere of a football game is dope. Like I remember when the Dolphins and the Cowboys played each other at the time. I think was it still Sun Life? It was probably still Sun Life. Yeah. Like we were seated next to Dolphins fans, and we were like talking crap to each other the whole game. That happens at basketball games too, but it's cool because everyone's drunk, they're eating, they're like, oh, it was raining, then it was sunny. It was a cool environment. The only thing that I didn't enjoy fully was that, like, we had great seats, but I still could, like, we were on the 50-yard line, but I still couldn't see, like, everything I can see, like, when I'm watching it at home. That's the only thing that I wish that you could get a different perspective of.
You know what it is? Here's my struggle watching games live.
You can't pay attention?
No. It's so much. Well, yes, that's one part where, like, I hate, like, now I'm smarter. Now I go in the suite or whatever. People want to talk. I'm here to watch the fucking, excuse me, the game. I'm here to watch the game. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? But everybody want to have conversations. Yo, I'm really watching the game. Stop talking to me. So that's one, especially like Super Bowls and things like that. Come on, what we here for? And second, Ashley, there's 22 guys on the field. So who do you want to watch? You got Justin Jefferson versus Jalen Ramsey over here, right? Then you have the new young kid that they just drafted. Addison is his name?
Jordan Addison, yeah.
So you want to see this new kid. What does he have? He's going against this kid, but it's not even about the corner he's going against. But then you have the quarterback, and then you have this running back. Then you have the offensive line. Where do you spend your time watching the game?
Right.
That's the struggle with football, is that there's so much action, there's so many dope players out there that it's a distraction.
I can't wait till you get a coaching job, bro.
I'm not coaching.
You sound like it.
Bro, I'm not coaching, bro. Like, hell no.
Wait till you
I can't do it.
I need a favor from y'all, though. I need one favor from y'all. I ain't never asked y'all for shit. Let me get a favor from y'all.
Yeah.
I've never experienced a tailgate.
Oh, listen. Back in college, Stak.
Okay, so you want to go?
I used to be able to do a keg stand upside down back in the day.
You're bringing that back out?
Oh,
what? I went to, in college, I was the beer pong queen, and I was a keg stand.
This is also your live weekends? This was during that time?
Oh, in college, I
2 hours of sleep.
In college, I used to get down.
Okay. Note that.
Upside down, legs up.
So
chug. With the fraternities and the sororities, hell yeah.
Okay. So, Stak, what I hear you saying is you want to go to tailgate this NFL season? That's what I hear you saying?
I want to experience a tailgate with my brothers and sister somewhere. We can do it in Miami, Dallas, wherever. I just want to experience one. We just chill out, tailgate, eat good, drink, and have a good time. I never experienced it.
It's funny you say that, Stak, because what we've been working on the back end is I Am Athlete on the go. We're going to do just that. We're going to go from one city to the next city. Could be Thursday night football at Amazon Prime. It could be Monday night football, where we're going to actually put together our own tailgates. So, Stak, any requests that you have, yes, you're going.
I'm not doing a tailgate.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not doing a tailgate in Philly.
One.
We're going to drag you at least
anywhere. In Dallas. In Dallas.
Dallas, hell yeah.
In another city, that's the experience.
No, I'm not doing a tailgate with Eagles fans. That's where I draw the line. But hell yeah, we can do one in Dallas.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
At least you got one. Just give us one.
Hell yeah. I'll bring out my hat. I'll be cowboy down, boy. Let's do it.
Can you imagine Ashley doing I wouldn't. That's the last thing I thought that would come out your mouth.
No, what? Beer pong champion right here. If you play beer pong, you want me on your squad. I talk shit. People can get hit. It's lit. Listen.
Now you got bars.
Beer pong.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen.
I'm like Kobe.
This is Brandon Marshall, Corey in the cut, Ashley Nicole Moss. We have Woo Out West. We have Steven Jackson.
Stop calling him that.
Steven Jackson. No, I'm the only one that can call him by his government, and it's accepted.
I'm used to it. Yeah.
At this point.
So
We
Paper Route or
apologize,
I Am Athlete. We also got my brother. Make sure y'all check out All the Smoke, and then also check out everything else he's producing and doing in boxing. It's pretty dope. SiriusXM Channel 103 Faction Talk. We have a few more minutes left with our brother Corey. What important basketball news do we have to hit? Because we have 7 more minutes with our brother.
And we got a couple more topics to hit, like you said. So we got James Harden. He opted, I had to say his name like that, James Harden. He opted into his $35 million player option, but he wants to explore trade options. Right now, it just seems like the Clippers are, emerging as a potential suitor for James Harden. How do you feel about that? I mean, do we think James Harden is going to find a potential landing spot, and then if they don't, how's that relationship with him and the Sixers going to be moving forward? Stak, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I like him better with the Clippers, and let me tell y'all why. Yeah, him and Embiid is a nice connection, but they're not going to win nothing in the East with just them two. and relying on those guys to get off the bench. I like Maxey, but I don't like nobody else on that team. I think in the Clippers, it's good because you don't know who you're gonna be in your lineup. But if you get James, you guaranteed to have at least 2 stars on the lineup because you know Paul might not be there, Kawhi might not be there. And I like the dynamic of James going back home, you know, and the player he is now where he's a 20-10 guy now, that's the type of guy they need over there. He can be that third option. He's going to make a lot of plays. And I just like the dynamic of the Clippers having 3 stars and him being back in LA. If he wasn't going to be in Houston, I didn't see no other place working where he'll be happy and be able to be the player that he is now. So the Clippers will be a great spot for him.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot happen either after Damian Lillard makes a decision. I think it's probably going to start with Damian Lillard. Once he makes a decision, then James Harden will likely make a decision. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on this situation, Ashley? I agree with Stak. I think James Harden actually makes sense in the Clippers, and that's really the only place I've been able to really create like a realistic scenario with.
I don't really care where James Harden goes. I like, it's just at one point I thought that when he left Brooklyn and went to Philly, you were going to see the resurgence of James Harden, that he was going to be not the James Harden maybe of OKC or earlier in Houston, but you were going to see a level of consistency and focus from him that you've been wanting to see because he was in a more stable environment. Brooklyn was unstable for a multitude of reasons. Houston, he had a lot of distractions.
James is unstable. Let's say it.
No,
Let's say it.
but I really thought
that's not why all the smoke exists and I Am Athlete exists. But I hate to say this, and maybe because I had a little shot of tequila before the show. But
yeah,
all right, yeah, let's go. Sorry to cut you off, Ash, because I love where you're going, but he's the problem, man. Like, he's so talented, dude, so raw, but like, bro, like keep the main thing first, and he don't do that all the time. So if I'm on his team, I love him as a talent, but I'm not counting on him to take me and get me over the hump. And that's just me being honest right now. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, priorities, man. Priorities. He's so talented. Come on, man. Embiid and James Harden in this phase should be enough. Facts.
Especially in the East.
Facts. They should be they should at least make it to the finals.
Yeah.
But Ash, can you picture this lineup in the Clippers, Ash? You have Russell Westbrook, you have James Harden, you have Kawhi, you have Zubac, and you have Paul George. That kind of similar looks to what Phoenix is building over there.
I mean, it would be the issue for me is not the talent of James Harden; it's the determination of James Harden that is the frustrating part. Because the will's not there. Like, the talent is there. Yeah, some people can say, you know, it's fallen off a little bit. You know, when it comes to his quickness, his agility, things like that. Okay, whatever. He's getting older. That's expected. But the talent is still there. And when he's at his best, you're like, holy crap, it's James Harden. Like, where has this version of him been? But you see that like once in a blue moon, and half the time, more than half the time, it just looks like he does not care out there. Like, he's like the Jay Cutler of basketball.
That's a good analogy.
The talent is there, but he doesn't care.
Ashley, I'm with you when you right.
Thank you. He's the Jay Cutler of the NBA.
Okay. All right, let's move on, because I hate talking about players this way.
Just saying. I said the talent is there, the consistency and the determination is not.
I'm giving you a high five, man.
But before you go to Stak, I want to talk about some of these free agent signings that we saw over the weekend. We got a graphic here with a list, a lot of them. But to me, I think the biggest topic, in my opinion, needs to be the Houston Rockets. I really want to talk about them. They signed Fred VanVleet.
Why are we talking about the Houston Rockets?
They made some moves.
They gonna be a problem next year, in my opinion. But look, I mean, let's look at some of these
they
names.
also all over social media too.
Oh my God, Stak!
What happened on social media?
I plead the fifth.
What happened?
I plead the fifth.
Hold on, time out. You know I've been in Africa. Time out.
No, sir.
Time out. Hold on, Corey. Hold on 1 second. I've been in Africa. Y'all see the bucket hat? What the hell happened on social media?
I plead the fifth.
I'm gonna say, who explained it? Because I'm not.
Why? What's the problem? We on YouTube. We ain't on ESPN.
Go ahead and search it up on Twitter.
We not. But you know, we did enough. We did enough pause in the day.
There's a video.
If we talk about this, we're gonna have to pause this whole segment.
I know. I seen it. The Jalen kid getting
time out though.
banged.
Go ahead, Corey.
Can we keep? I can't make a determination if that's actually him. I can't even.
Did he refute it?
I can't make out any of those people's faces, so I don't know.
Did he tweet or Instagram, TikTok?
No, this is how
is it him? Has that been confirmed?
He told on himself by posting the picture on his own Instagram of him like this. It was an intentional picture. It was him like this. Like he messed up.
I mean, I don't know what guys do when they hang out. Is that maybe that's normal?
Hey, listen. Oh, I seen it. I know what y'all talking about.
Is that like a normal thing? Like you're in college and you're like.
But did you know there's a second
video?
Well, I will
say this.
Did you know there's 2 videos?
Stak, I don't know. I've never been a teenage boy.
Stak.
No.
Stak, you ain't never seen no funniness happen in the locker room?
Not that.
Wasn't there a video that went viral years ago, and wasn't it AD getting like his butt cheeks like taped up in the locker room?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you one thing now. I've never in my life even thought about entertaining some shit like that, or nobody even thought that I would. They weren't even crazy enough to try some shit like that. But I'm gonna tell you this: when we was in Golden State, and Baron Davis was attest to this, we used to wait till the foreign players get out the shower because they used to be trying to hit each other's privates with towels.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
The European.
That's what I'm saying. There's some funny things that happen.
Shower time, we gonna have our shower time like we in jail. We ain't with that.
Nah,
but there are kind of like things that happen in locker rooms that maybe like would raise a couple like that's
Stak
I feel like that's normal.
Stak ain't gonna be honest. Stak, I'm losing respect for you. Don't want to be honest, Stak.
Man, I ain't seen nobody. I've never seen nobody, and I don't want to see nobody cock their teammate legs up and get the ramming against the wall and laughing like it's cool,
I'm on
bro.
Stak
I don't ever want to see that. I don't ever want to see that.
He said ever. Yo, I don't know who is worse on him or I don't want to throw any names out there, but it looked like the dude was Josh Christopher, his teammate.
He laughed it off too. They both out of there.
It's horrible all the way around.
Yeah, no. All right, well, can we go back to the free agent side?
I got BC saying it was Josh Christopher.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Josh Christopher, but so it's like
before we let Stak go, I got 3 potential games.
And he got traded the next day after the video came out.
He did.
Did he?
He did get traded. I think he went to the Wolves, right?
We supposed to be talking about the free agent signings and the impact on the team.
I know, because I wanted to talk about the Rockets because, like I said, I think they got a squad. You know what I'm saying? They split up the dynamic duo, I guess, of Jalen Green and Josh Christopher. But look, they got Fred VanVleet now. They got Dylan Brooks now. They just signed one of the Thompson twins, right?
That's Seth Curry. Seth Curry.
Seth?
Oh, no, he's on Dallas.
He's on
sorry,
yeah. He's on the Mavs. They added. We talked about Jeff Green earlier, right? And what type of leadership he can add to a locker room. Got a guy like Jeff Green now. Like, I think they're a team that can be a problem. But another name that really stood out to me, Eric Gordon. We talk about depth, the Phoenix Suns, and trying to build their roster. They got Eric Gordon. Gabe Vincent was a good signing from the Los Angeles Lakers. Who else? Who are some names that stand out to you guys?
Well,
I think the best move. Go ahead, B.
Go, Stak. You go.
I think the best moves of the summer was made by Memphis to bring in Derrick Rose.
Yes.
And Marcus Smart for just for the Ja Morant.
That's right.
Because you was talking about leadership, bro. And if you listen to a lot of older guys that's talking on these shows, and I don't consider it hate because I know how my career would have went south if I didn't have leadership. And the NBA has went away from that. They pushed a lot of those guys out, but they starting to see how important it is. So having Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart there for Ja Morant, you finna see a major transformation, but you also finna see he gonna grow also on the court. You know what I'm saying? Defensively wise, is dealing with Marcus Smart. So I think that was the best move that was made really this summer. And not the free agent moves. Yeah, Houston got better, but the guys that went back to their teams, I think that was big moves as well.
And Derrick Rose is a great vet. I know firsthand because he was mine.
Oh my goodness! Stop this Nick stuff. Oh my goodness.
He was mine.
I didn't appreciate him.
We loved Derrick Rose. There were parts in the playoffs, Corey. You know, we were chanting for him to get on the court.
They should have thrown him.
Let me ask you this: while Ashley's over here sobbing.
You can't have anything nice. Go ahead.
Stak, before you go, were you shocked at the Dylan Brooks deal?
Nah, I was one of those guys when all that stuff was going on. I was one of those guys said that Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, all these championship coaches say, You need a guy like Ron Artest. You need a guy like Steven Jackson. You need a guy like Draymond Green to win championships. Dillon Brooks is that guy. Now, I'm not saying Houston has a championship team and he's going to win a championship there, but he's that guy. He plays every night. He competes. He don't care about who you are, who you a star, and that's kind of lost in today's game. So it's still coaches and organizations that appreciate that because they know it's not too many guys like that, and that's why he got his money. So when they was talking about Dillon Brooks with the way Memphis handled him and came out and said that they wasn't going to sign him back, that was a cheap shot, right? You don't do that about no other player when you're releasing them, but you're going to come out and say that you're not going to sign him back. I'm glad he landed on his feet. I'm a fan of Dillon Brooks. He plays the game the right way with a lot of passion, and it's good to see as guys that still do that.
And he got in the range that he was looking. It was reported he wanted between $15 and $20 million. He got $80 million for a year, so that's exactly $20 million. So it's exactly it worked out in the range that he wanted. I don't think that they overpaid. I think that he's right in the ballpark of where he should be, of what he brings defensively, what he brings offensively. I think also Ime Udoka's not going to allow some of the theatrics that maybe he got away with in Memphis. I think that when you have a young team, things get lost in the sauce a little bit. And I also don't know if Taylor Jenkins, head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, is that assertive, like, we're not going to do this here. Like, I don't know if he's that kind of a coach. He seems a little bit more laid back. He seems a little bit more just passive. Whereas Ime Udoka, we already know how Udoka gets down. He going to be like, we're not going to do that.
No. I'm sorry.
He's with the Rockets now?
I got to interject here.
With the Rockets?
That is what Dillon Brooks is the same player Ime Udoka was. He just didn't talk. He got in people's face. He fouled a lot. He was he's the same exact guy. So I guarantee you, Ime was loving the fact that Dillon Brooks wanted to come to Houston because they was the same type of guy.
For sure.
Ime was more professional with it though.
But if he gets too far.
Sorry. BC, do you have that Dillon Brooks picture of him walking into the tunnel? Go ahead.
What I'm saying is if he gets too far out of line, Ime knows firsthand how to bring him back in. Whereas I feel like a Taylor Jenkins is not that type of aggressive, vocal, outspoken coach. I think that him and Udoka are going to have a better relationship, and I think you'll see a different Dillon Brooks in Houston. So it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Well, I know we got to let you go, and I don't know if we have this picture or not, but we talked about Fashion Week in Paris when you came on to open up the show, Stak, and you said, yeah, I'm not into that. But you just said you're a big fan of Dillon Brooks. And you know what's interesting?
I didn't say his outfits.
No, but y'all kind of remind me of each other. How y'all drip check.
Please, let me see this picture, please.
I don't know if we have it. Do we have it? Do we have any Dillon Brooks?
Working on it.
Oh, see, this is the new media where we're still putting our files together, and like we have a picture of.
I don't think our swag is the same.
They're
similar.
No, it's not.
Y'all both similar in height.
Him and Dillon Brooks.
I don't take chances. I don't take chances with stuff though. My stuff.
Dillon Brooks cosplayed as freaking Stone Cold Austin during his tunnel walk.
I've never had my nipples out, B.
Do you want me to pull up? Do you want me to pull up Stak's drip check when he used to walk into the tunnel?
I can guarantee you he wasn't dressed like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I had about 4 bandanas on too in my pocket. On each pocket, I was out of there. I was tripping.
Stak,
Dillon Brooks walked into the tunnel with a perm.
Yeah, he was on some different stuff last season.
I ain't never did it with a leather vest on with no shirt, B. I ain't never did that, B.
Let me see. Let's see if we have a picture, bro. You never dressed like this? Do we have it? Can we see?
I was in the 5X t-shirt era, baby.
Tell me yes or no if you ever dressed like this.
I'm telling you now, I haven't. Without even seeing it.
Do we have it?
Regardless of what come up there. I ain't dressed.
No, we don't have it. Okay. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Bro, come on, bro.
Come
Never
on,
in my
Stak.
life, dog. Never in my life, dog.
The glasses. I see you wear glasses. I see you wear glasses.
I keep some fresh shades on.
You keep fresh shades on.
Yeah, and but I never walked out with no shirt on. I ain't that confident in myself.
Stak.
All right, look, you're in your closet right now. It's easy for us to pivot that camera and see your closet.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing.
I'm looking at the photo now on the actual live. Like that does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Bro, we love you, bro. What you working on now? Anything you working on right now? What's cool? What's happening in your life?
I know you're gonna love what I'm about to say. So I love y'all too. First off, second, I'm I'm calling my first fight in Atlantic City at Boots Ennis. I'm doing the pre-fights live for the first time. So I'm excited about this in Atlantic City.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Hey, my only advice to you is this, bro. Just say, hit him with a left. He hit him with a right. He hit him with a right.
Okay, Migos.
Right. That's dope, bro. You crossing over. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. You see my dog? They counted my dog out.
You know, it'd be funny getting Stak and Snoop Dogg to call a fight together. You ever see Snoop Dogg call a fight?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Snoop is so dramatic and over the top.
We don't need Snoop. I love
I'm saying the two of them together would be hilarious.
I need him and Matt. They're the tag team. They're the brothers. They just them
yes,
two.
Matt. But I think
No.
the combination of Stak and Snoop calling a fight would be comedy.
Oh my
would be
goodness.
golden.
Oh, that would
That's
be
dope,
because
bro.
Snoop goes,
If Stak can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you, you know his story, you know where he come from. Dude talking about basketball, now he talking about football, now he in boxing, he producing shows and all that. Bro, salute, bro. Love you, bro.
oh wow, we have someone in the chat, Brandon.
Bye, Stak. We gonna let you go because we 10
Stak.
minutes over.
Much love, y'all. Y'all later.
That's what I'm talking about. My dog calling fights, man.
That's cool.
Brandon, we have someone in the chat who wants to see you fight Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Was it a left? Is there any way, BC? I know we probably can't do this, and you don't have to try to do this. But I think there's a video of Le'Veon Bell knocking out Adrian Peterson.
That was bad.
That hurt my heart. Like Adrian Peterson taking that left. Maybe it was a right. He came overhand right. Bam! And he just dropped like this and it was out.
So are you afraid to fight him? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'll knock Le'Veon Bell's ass out.
Oh, so you get back for Adrian Peterson?
I'll knock any football player.
Oh.
Name anybody.
Oh.
Knocked out.
Okay.
I got a chin, Ashley.
DK Metcalf.
Come on. Come on. Wait, why you say DK? Because he big? Like that? He had muscles?
So DK Metcalf, who's you and DK Metcalf in the ring.
Any football player. I got a chin. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I got a chin so I can take a punch. I got hands. I'm trained. Okay. And I'm a little loose in the head. You gotta be. When you get out, oh my God, to the death. Like you gotta have that a little bit.
Yeah.
Come on.
He said any football player, he's knocking him out.
Yeah,
Right.
It's not even fair. I'm 250 right now, and Le'Veon Bell probably 200, 210.
I mean,
in my reach.
DK Metcalf's a big guy.
DK Metcalf.
He's a big
DK
guy.
Metcalf. You talk about racing, he got me. He got me in a race. That's it. That's all DK Metcalf got me in right now. That's my baby brother.
What about Aaron Donald? You knocking him out?
Him too. Wow. And that's my brother. We come from the same hood too.
You better keep
that. Lincoln, Larmer, right there, right across the bridge.
You better keep that fight on the outside.
Clip this. All that I seen what your lady just post, where Erica just post you in the gym with your chest out. You get it too. All the muscles, popcorn. No, I ain't gonna call them popcorn muscles. That's Joey Porter. I had a famous clip where I called Joey Porter. I was like popcorn muscles. But no, Aaron Donald.
What about Von Miller?
Von Miller get it too. You know, that's our people. He get it too. It's all love. Who else? Anybody.
I'm trying to think of the bigger guys. I'm not going to give you like a Russell Wilson. That's clearly you'll knock him out.
See, but that's not the thing, Ashley. You going for bigger guys. You got to look at skill. You got to look at will. You got to look at fight.
I think you would knock Russell Wilson out. I'm not going to put him in the ring.
Saquon boxes.
Saquon.
He's too short.
You just said that doesn't matter.
What I'm saying is like
I don't know. That might be a hard fight for you too. Like
what about TJ Watt?
Out of there in the first round.
Bobby Wagner.
Out of there in the first round.
First round.
Bobby Wagner. I love Bobby.
Let's show this clip real quick. All
right, let's see what this clip is.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
B.
Oh!
B.
Le'Veon Bell. That's a good match.
Did you see this, Ashley? Have you ever
No,
seen it?
I've never seen that before.
That's the definition of sitting him down.
Yes.
You know, he went straight down. He didn't fall back or forward. He went straight.
Run that again. Run that again,
BC.
Look at this right hand. And this is sad. Like, why are y'all doing this? It's probably for what, $200,000. Can you run this again? Look at this.
Take it. Watch his mouthpiece.
Look at that right hook.
Left hand.
Boom.
Oh my goodness, he was out of
shit.
there. You don't want to see your legend. You don't want to see a living legend
Look at
like this. Le'Veon Bell should have felt bad. Like,
okay. I have another one. Myles Garrett.
Oh.
Out of there. Myles Garrett, what? He's a dog, and he'll go the distance. He's the type of dude, he's so quiet, he's so smart, and you wouldn't think that he'll fight to the death. but he will. He is a dog. But let me tell you something. He don't have the skill, Ashley. He's too stiff. He's too big.
Definitely a dog. We've seen what he did to Mason.
He could get tired quick. I see what he's
He's not even tired quick. He can't even throw. Myles Garrett, if you're listening to this, all right, we're going to clip this. We're going to post it because we know you're not watching live. But we appreciate all 500 that was watching today. We've been at a 500 almost all day. That's really good. Ashley,
we're past 500.
Appreciate y'all in the chat.
We're right now at 530.
That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. So I know he's not watching live, but he will see this clip. Or if he doesn't, I'll send it to him because I have his cell number. Bro, send in a picture or a video of you throwing a right hand. A hook, a jab. That's going to tell it all. He's too stiff. Okay. He's too stiff. Can we move on now?
One more. I got one more.
One more. One more.
Micah Parsons.
Ooh.
He probably got some quick hands.
See, what makes Micah really good is this. Let me tell you this. You know I like stories, Ashley.
Okay.
So what makes him good? He's not the biggest. He is fast, but he's not the fastest. He's quick, but he's not the quickest. What makes him really special is he has a motor. And this is interesting because a lot of times when you see a white defensive end or a white guy, they say, oh, he has a motor. He has a motor. That's what they say about white guys that play defensive end. This dude has all the skill and he has a motor. So what makes Micah Parsons really special in this situation, that he has a motor and he's a dog. But again, it's going to come down to skill. Can he throw a punch? And I'm not convinced that he knows how to fight. Now, if it was a street fight, totally different. Like now we got to grab, we got to wrestle, we got to do all of that. That's a different story. I'm still victorious, but I might have a cut on Monday morning coming into Paper Route. I might have a cut. I might have a swollen eye, okay? But I'll win. In boxing, he'll make it 3 rounds.
Let's just read these stats real quick. 24, 6'3", 245 pounds. That's a big boy. Heavyweight.
Say it again. Say it again. Yeah, pause.
24, 6'3", 245 pounds.
Now read my stats.
He's just athletic.
Now read my stats.
40.
39, 6'5", 232.
250.
259. 255.
It's a little out of shape, 255.
What's your fighting weight, B?
My same playing weight. I'll get down to 235.
Okay.
Give him the business.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be a good fight.
Oh, by the way, while we talking about Dallas players, I did want to mention the 3 games I think is possible for Ashley. New York Jets at the AT&T Stadium. That's on September 17th.
That's our first.
That's a Sunday.
What is it called?
Ooh, Jets Cowboys?
Jets Cowboys.
That'll be fun.
So I'm thinking
We
B,
got to do a bet there.
Ashley.
Yeah, y'all know I have no smoke with MetLife as long as it's, the Jets. Otherwise, y'all know how I feel.
I didn't suggest that one because I was like the first Giants game. The second one is in November at AT&T Stadium. And then just to bring my boy Corey here.
They play Christmas Eve down here.
Local?
Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So that's 3 games right there.
We got to activate all 3. Let's
Thumbs up.
activate all 3.
And we got to get Stak in.
Yeah.
We got to get
Definitely.
Stak at the Dallas one.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, I want to talk Mike Evans. This weekend, he spoke to Ari Alexander, and he said that he wants to break Jerry Rice's consecutive 1,000-yard record. Right now, he's at 9. Jerry's record is 11. He said, I think about it. It's right there. So I'm going to definitely try to get that. I'm already 1 of 1 right now, and I hope I can pass the great Jerry Rice in his record. He says he's 1 of 1 because nobody has started out with that many consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards. So that makes him 1 of 1. But yeah, he's chasing a great one with this one. And we're going to talk about Jerry Rice in a little bit. But like, how, you think Mike Evans can get that record?
Well, before you answer, it would be easier if Baker Mayfield wasn't his quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's
all I got.
No, I think that's easy for us to say. I think he can break it even with
Baker Mayfield.
Yes. There's a few reasons. Well,
all right, break it down.
And this is not about me. This is about Mike Evans. So the first thing I would say is that yes, he can break it. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's about attrition, the war on against attrition, like being healthy. If he can stay healthy, he can absolutely do it. I had 17 quarterbacks, and I was still able to produce at an extremely high level. And that's why I say it's not about me, but if you put the list together, like the top 5, 6 receivers that went over 1,000 consecutively, I'll probably be somewhere there. All right. and I did it with 17 quarterbacks. So a guy like Baker Mayfield can absolutely get it done, where he knows this is my guy, one-on-one matchups. Like it's easy. We're talking about 6 catches a game, 66 yards a game.
And they do have an extra game.
I'm saying at this point,
They have
you
an
think
extra
he's
game.
done that math, considering how long he's been able to
100%.
do
Like
it?
literally, 66.6 gets you 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's a little lower now because Ashley said they added a
extra
game. When
game,
I was
yep.
playing, it was 60. If you average 66.6 yards a game, gets you 1,000.
Yeah.
16 games, right? So now they have an extra game. He can absolutely get that. Baker Mayfield knows that this is the man on this team. This dude makes everything go. All Mike Evans has to do is look at him, Ashley, and say, yo, bro, throw me the ball. He don't even have to talk. He just look at him like, and that means throw me the ball. So he can absolutely get this done. I think it's even easier for him with the Baker Mayfield than any other quarterback than a Tom Brady. Because if Tom Brady coming in, Tom Brady's going to go through his system. Tom Brady's going
Get the ball
to
to
just
more
sit back and say, you know what? I have to, like, I'm Tom Brady. I have the power. I have the leverage. I'm going to make sure Chris Godwin, is it Godwin or Goodwin?
Godwin.
Chris Godwin, no disrespect. Chris Godwin, I got to get him involved. I got to get Antonio Brown involved. I got to get Gronkowski involved. He's going to go through the system, and he's going to make sure he has the right integrity in how he works his offense. Baker Mayfield, when shit hit the fan, Baker Mayfield be like, yo, I'm in trouble. Mike, what do you want? Right? And so it doesn't always make for a great balanced attack, a great offense, but it does make for a guy like Mike Evans to have a legendary year. You might see Mike Evans go for 1,500 yards this year.
Honestly, do we have that graphic with the the compare? There we go.
No.
So I mean, if we being honest, so I'm looking at the quarterbacks he had at the beginning of his career. I know Jerry Rice is ridiculous, but
Look
we
at that 95 number.
What 95?
know.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
The man almost
During
had
the time where they
2,000 yards.
wasn't throwing it
My
60 times a
God.
game.
Well, no.
Ashley.
On that note, Brandon, look at 86 though. He had 1,586.
I was 2 years
Jesus
old.
Yeah, like to your
Christmas.
point, they weren't throwing the ball like that in '86, and he had 1,500 yards. But no, what I was gonna say about Mike Evans, his quarterbacks at the beginning of his career, Josh McCown,
Yep.
Mike Glennon, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Griffin. So he's been through a couple quarterbacks, Blaine Gabbert, and look at his his numbers at the beginning of his career, right? 1,200, 1,300, had a 1,500 yard year there. So I think he can make it happen.
Bro, it's
with those
easy.
quarterbacks.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you
Looking
guys.
at these numbers real quick, though, the comparison of Jerry, like I only knew Jerry Rice's 1990, 92 numbers off the top of my head. Like seeing them all like in front of me.
Yeah.
Like Mike Evans' numbers are impressive, but my God, those Jerry Rice numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
yeah, it's special.
Like when you think era, when you think like like quarterbacks, how the game was different. Mike Evans are impressive as hell. Not taking that away from him to be able to do that consecutively. But looking at Jerry's numbers and those kind of numbers to do that consecutively,
what
95
I'm
and lose 2,000 yards.
That's why he's the GOAT, Ashley.
He's definitely.
That's why he's the GOAT.
But can we talk about that though, Brandon? Like, cause could he not potentially be like the GOAT of football though?
Jerry
We
Rice?
got Jerry Rice has 36 NFL records. I know we have a graphic too with some of his like notable records right now. He has the record for most receptions. That's 1,500 receptions. Can we check and see who's second for receptions? Because he has to be leading that by a mile. Receiving yards 22,000. 1,000 yards receiving season, 208 total touchdowns. The next person is Emmitt Smith, I believe, and he has like 170.
Yeah.
And then he has the most yards of any player, obviously outside of I believe quarterbacks, for combined net yards.
Right.
Like, is he not one of the GOATs to ever play football?
I think it's definitely one of the GOATs. But when we talk about the GOAT, I think it's hard.
Stop. What are we talking about here?
no,
You know what I hate. Come on, you know what I'm about
I was
to say.
repeating what he said. He said one of the GOATs of football. That's what he said. Of course you said.
What does GOAT mean, Ashley?
Okay. It's hard. I hear what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Corey. But I think it's hard. It depends. Like that's the whole argument of what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of argument. And what I mean by that is some will argue, okay, but Jerry's numbers weren't possible without a quarterback throwing him the pass. So you have to look at what you weigh as more importance in terms of that argument. That's what I'm saying, the chicken or the egg. It's hard to negate what Tom Brady has done. Now you can say, well, Tom Brady couldn't have accomplished this without Belichick or this person or Edelman or whoever. Factual. But when you look at his resume and the rings on his fingers, you automatically, when you think football, you think of the success of the quarterback and how that infiltrates everybody else. It's unfortunate because he's not the only piece that makes the puzzle work, but a lot will say he's the most important piece. So he gets the criticism, but he also gets the accolades. So when you're talking GOAT, that's why usually people will automatically talk about a quarterback.
Yeah, and Tom Brady. But if we really took our time and dissected football and looked at pound for pound, play for play, then Tom Brady might not even be top 10.
Whoa.
Jerry Rice could be up there. Yeah, but there's guys like Reggie Wayne. You talk about GOATs, greatest of all time. J.J. Watt had a crazy era. I'm not, before I go into this any farther, I'm not saying J.J. Watt is a GOAT. But when J.J. Watt, there was like 4 years, maybe 5 years, when he went on this crazy run where he literally wiped out the whole offensive line and you couldn't do shit. Like, there's guys like that did it at a high level that we don't talk about because of what you said. Mm-hmm. They don't have the rings. They didn't have the attention. They weren't marketable.
They didn't play the right position.
Correct. Like Reggie Wayne is one of those guys that can easily be in the conversation when we talk about the GOAT. But our generation, this era, like when is the last time you ever heard somebody say Reggie Wayne?
Long time.
Yeah, it's not often.
Right. Think about Aaron Donald for 10 years. Consecutively, and consistent at a high level. You talk about quarterback drop back, boom, get hit, smacked. Like that's how good he was. Yeah. Running back takes off, boom, he's 2-yard loss. Yep. Right? So, yes, I have Tom Brady as my GOAT, but because I'm lazy.
Because it's the easy answer, right?
Yeah, I want to be honest. Because I think it's easy for us to say Tom Brady is the GOAT, 7 rings, and what he's done and how he's brought others along. It's very special.
I just think it's also very hard to make a counter argument. It's comparing apples and oranges. Like if I say Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? And you say LT's the GOAT, right? How do we even argue that? They're 2 totally different positions. Yeah. They had 2 totally different responsibilities. Yeah. They played they had 2 totally different playbooks. Like, it's hard to, that's why in football it's so hard to label the GOAT, which is why people normally just stick to a quarterback, because basketball, you can do that. Because basketball, everyone has somewhat of the same responsibilities. The stats all align. It's easier to make that argument. So if I say it's Jordan, you can make an argument of why it's LeBron. Yeah. And it's easier to go ahead and have that argument. You can see it from both perspectives. How the hell do I argue LT versus Tom Brady?
Right. Well, piggybacking off of that, Ashley,
where's the equal factor?
I will say this. I think not only myself, but a lot of us in this space have been lazy when it comes to the GOAT conversation regarding football, all right, at the highest level. I think the GOAT resides on the defensive side, and here's why. On the offensive side, you need the offensive coordinator, and you need everybody working together to get the job done, whether it's to get the first down, score a touchdown, complete and the 2-minute drive, whatever it is. Like, you need all of that working together. That's why Tom Brady is special, because he did that at a high level for a very long time. But Tom Brady, right, going out there, if his receiver slips at the top of the route, drops a ball, he doesn't get the job done. On the defensive side, you take a guy like a LT, you take a guy like a Reggie Wayne, even an Aaron Donald, and you put them out there. The defensive coordinator can call a bad play. Everybody can fall on the route, and he can run through 2-3 people, get a sack or get a tackle for loss, and the defense wins. Mm-hmm. So I think if we're really being intentional and spend time breaking down each position, we will find that the defensive side is where the GOAT is. And I think it starts with those 3 guys that we just mentioned, and you brought up LT, Reggie Wayne, and Aaron Donald.
I actually believe that football may be the only sport, and I know Brandon's gonna hate this, but I think, like, when we talk baseball, you can't really do it. When you talk basketball, you can't do it. When you talk hockey, you can't do it. I think football, because of how complex it is and how different the positions are and the responsibilities are, I feel like football may be the only sport where you can have multiple GOATs because because everybody has a different responsibility. And like I'm saying, like I can't argue Jerry Rice versus Tom Brady. They don't do the same thing.
Well, can we do this?
You can have a GOAT wide receiver.
No, I
GOAT.
disagree with you.
I think NFL is the only sport you can do that in.
I agree with you. If you say GOAT at this position or GOAT of defense, GOAT of offense, then we can have that conversation. But you say who's the GOAT of the NFL, you got to pick one. Because it's black and white for me. It's who's the greatest of all time. You got to be able to pick one. So let's stop being lazy and let's do the work and let's pick who's the GOAT of the NFL. But I agree with you. You can have
mine's Brady, but I mean,
are you being lazy or are you really believe Tom Brady is the GOAT?
It's Tom Brady for me.
Okay.
But I can't be mad if somebody says LT.
Right.
I just can't. It'd be hard for me to make my case on why it's Brady against a non-quarterback. It's now if you say Brady versus Montana, I can make that argument all day. Right, but I can't argue LT versus Brady. How the hell? Where's the foundation of that argument?
But that's where I'm saying where we're being lazy is because, LT can disrupt everything the offense is doing just like that. Like how many times, like if LT and Tom Brady went head to head, all right, who has the advantage, right? LT just needs himself. He's shown that he can run through 2-3 people, any type of schemes, and still get to the quarterback or shut down the run game. Now, Tom Brady, he's shown that he's able to overcome everything. That's why he's been able to win 7 Super Bowls. But if the receiver slips or Billy O'Brien or Josh McDaniels mess it up, then he's in a tough position. Yeah. So I think there is an argument there. Like you've seen it in the past. Tom Brady go against legendary defensive line. Michael Strahan and the Giants. They stole 2 Super Bowls from the Patriots, right?
They did.
Why? Because you had Michael Strahan and O.C. Umayor on the other side, and you had big
and Michael Strahan was a beast.
They had a crazy defensive line being able to disrupt everything they're doing. I don't care what receivers you have. Randy Moss doesn't matter. Julian Edelman doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This defensive line is going to get to you before you can do anything else. Doesn't matter. You can have the best game plan. Spygate. Y'all have all of our calls. Y'all know what the hell we doing. But my defensive line can get through there. So now I'm being more specific. Maybe this conversation is helping me get to the point. Not only does the defensive side have the GOAT, the GOAT resides on the defensive side, it's a defensive line. The defensive line is the most important position, Ashley, on the entire field.
Yeah. You might got something there.
All right, we can move on.
It's the truth.
We got
Ashley, anything to add before we move on?
No, I mean we can go around in circles about it's like I said, chicken or the egg.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. All right, guys. Well, listen, I want to talk the Los Angeles Chargers. This weekend, new OC, Kellen Moore, had some, he spoke to media and was asked about several things. But one thing
I know Kellen Moore.
Yeah. One thing he was asked about was his quarterback, right? And he made the point that, with Justin Herbert's decision-making, it's going to allow him to call a more aggressive offense. And actually,
is that shade, Kellen?
That's literally what I wanted to ask you. I was like, was that shade? Because in the same breath,
it's funny how they switch up when they change teams.
Right. No, it was funny. He gave Dak Prescott a compliment too. He was like, Dak Prescott, he's a great leader. I've never seen anything like that. But then he came back and said this. He's like, but this, with this new opportunity, it's going to allow me to call an offense in an aggressive manner. And almost insinuating that he wasn't able to do that maybe in Dallas.
Bullshit.
Cap.
It's bullshit.
No, Kellen.
Cap, bullshit, same thing.
You weren't able, your decision making was trash because you were calling the same static, just run down, predictable plays. Don't blame that on Dak's decision making if that's what you were trying to throw. Ain't nobody caught it. His playbook was tired. It was old. Right. It worked in the first few seasons of him and Dak's relationship, and then it was no longer effective. There was lack of creativity. There was lack of element of surprise. And I would be willing to bet that you see a lot of that same. You may get some magic with him and Justin Herbert in this first season because it's fresh and it's new. It's the same thing that happened with Dak and the Dallas Cowboys. But I guarantee you, if he's there for the long term, you will see them be in the exact same situation. I know that QB1's the easy target, but don't come for Dak Prescott because that wasn't his fault.
Did McCarthy have anything to do? Because I used to hear a lot of stuff about him, like like pulling back plays and doing it himself because he used to be a big time play caller himself.
Right.
For
So
sure.
like, did that have any effect? You think?
I mean, yes, but also Kellen Moore's playbook was not aggressive.
Just trash.
But
Okay.
but
It was
that's
just it was safe.
No, I
get
think
you.
what happened is this, right? And you got to understand this is how it works whenever you bring coaches together. The coaches come together, and then the head coach brings his philosophy, but he does bend and adjust. So he sits down, like if it's an offensive guy like Coach McCarthy is, he'll bring in a defensive guy, say, like, okay, this is what I want. I want a 4-3 defense, or I want a 3-4 scheme, or I want to, be more aggressive on maybe a zone blitz. Whatever the situation is, he goes and finds that guy and lets that guy run his team. And that's the opposite too. If you're a defense minded head coach, then you go get an offensive guy and you let that offensive guy work, but you create the type of scheme that you want and you go find that guy. So now you have Coach McCarthy, who was an offensive-minded coach. He goes and gets an offensive coordinator. That offensive coordinator and that offensive-minded head coach have to come together and put their two systems together. Mm-hmm. So Kellen Moore has ideas, but the philosophy is
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
I see how you say
And that's where it becomes not creative, old, and stagnant. When I played with the Giants in 2018, we were studying and watching, and this is what Coach Ben McAdoo. We were doing the same shit Aaron Rodgers and Coach McCarthy was doing in 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. Spider, spider, spider. Like the same hand signals, the same schemes. Seriously, that's what it was. Web, web, web. So if Eli Manning went out there and said, web, 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 and a defensive coordinator, a defensive guy studied the audio from the ESPN TV copy where you heard the quarterback. That's why we know Peyton Manning say, Omaha, Omaha. Omaha. Everybody know that. It's legendary. Why? That's not what we study as players. What we study when we watch film, 95% of the time, there's no audio there.
Right.
We're just watching just all the concepts and cut-ups. But the really good teams 10 years ago, right, like this is where things start changing. This is where like why Bill Belichick is so amazing at what he does. Like they find these different ways of scheming and studying. So now you have a Bill Belichick go out there maybe 10 years ago and say, let's study the ESPN copy because now I can have audio. What the fuck is Peyton Manning said? Omaha, Omaha. When he says Omaha, what is everybody on the field doing? So now those are the tells. Those are the tendencies, okay? So I say all that to say this. Coach McCarthy comes in with a Kellen Moore and says, hey, here's what worked for us in Green Bay. Rightfully so. Y'all won a Super Bowl, and y'all were top 5 offense for how many years in a row? Web, web, web. Same web from 2011, but it's 2018, 2020. Spider, spider, spider. It's the same spider from 2012 that it is in 2022. So that's what defensive coordinators and guys are studying. Those are the tendencies. That's where we spend most of our time. Every time they say web, this is what's happening. OBJ's coming down in motion. He's going to get in a tight split. He's going to run his 5-yard little pivot route. Then he's going to pivot out and go. That's spider. You understand?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
So I probably went too detailed. This is high-level football.
No, but I know your point with Belichick made the most because I've always known him as a defensive coach.
That's right.
So having that offensive power is like, it's almost like saying, hey, this is what I want. You just take it over there so I can focus on defense.
That's right.
And I get what you're saying, though.
You brought up something interesting, though, Brandon, and this actually came up in your interview with Devontae Adams. What's keeping the NFL from releasing that type of footage so, like, the fans can watch it? Because it's not like it's going to give the other teams the advantage to be watching, like, the film cut-ups of players, right? Like, why can't they just release those to the masses? I would love to watch film.
Well, I think it's out there, but you have to find it.
Is that what it is?
NFL Now, the Red Zone, they have that. The show that I was on for 10 years, Inside the NFL. It's not coming back. I think they're going to take it to like CT. I don't know what
the CW is what the rumor is.
Yeah, it is CW. CW has it, and they're trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with it. But like shows like that, you see it, and then it also exists on social media, and that's the challenge is that there's no one place. Yeah, right. And that's why Inside the NFL was so good because you heard that and you saw that from that show. You can only get it there. And we used to always say that the star of the show is the films, it's NFL films, right? It's not us. It's really like being able to have access to that. Now everybody has access to that that information or those sound bites. But yeah, no. I mean, we can move on. Kellen Moore and Justin Herbert. This is what I would say. This is what I wrote down when I saw that you put this topic together. For them to get over the hump, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Ashley needs to stay healthy. These are two. I just talked about defensive linemen, and we're talking about the whole GOAT discussion. If those two guys stay healthy, it's a wrap for anybody they faced. We're talking, how the hell do you have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on the same team, on the same front?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, on paper, this team looks amazing. And yeah,
right.
You're right. That's the question I wanted to get to, right? Like, how does this team get over the hump? Because, well, Kellen Moore also was asked about the receivers, and he points out the receiving group. And again, this team looks amazing on paper. So it's going to be the defense putting it together and maybe the offense. But do you think that they are lacking an established run game, right? Are you hoping that Kellen Moore doesn't come in and get pass happy like we've seen this team? This team's always top 5 in passing, right?
That's right.
But what's going to get them over the hump offensively? Like, if the defense is playing well, what do they need on the offensive side?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I don't think you need to have a run game, the type of run game that we think about in today's NFL. Like, I don't think you need to have that type of run game. That's like Dallas Cowboys, Ashley Nicole Moss's Dallas Cowboys back in the day when they had Emmitt Smith. We're going to have a running back that totes it 20, 30 times and may have 100, 150 yards. Like, that's not the type of running game you need in today's NFL to succeed. What you need is an efficient run game, meaning that on first down, you can pick up 4 yards to 5 yards, right? When you need to have 4 yards, you get 4 yards. No tackle for losses. We can't have no inefficiencies when it comes to our run game. But today's NFL is about the passing game. The passing game set us up the running game. So what I think this team needs is 3 things. Coach Staley, for them to get over the hump, Coach Staley needs to be bold and he needs to be himself. Remember, this is a head coach that came out super aggressive. It's a coach that wanted to go for it on, 4th down when nobody was like, oh, shit, why are you doing this? And then they didn't convert. And so people pushed back on him. His jaw was on the line. So now he went into like a cocoon and he started like just, okay, let me be safe. That's not who you are naturally. I think you need to die on the sword, right? Like in basketball, they say like live by the 3, die by the 3. If you want to be an aggressive head coach, do that because that's the shit that's going to separate you from everyone else. So Coach Staley needs to be comfortable with who he is. I already said Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa needs to stay healthy and need to go ball. Them two can shut down everything any offense needs to do. If you want to double and push the offensive line scheme, go scat right, protection, and because Khalil Mack's on the right now, you got one-on-one with Joey Bosa on the left side. You want to go scat protection and maybe go chip the left side, then you got the right side one-on-one matchup. It's crazy. And then the last thing is don't aim, because you have all these pieces on the offense side, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Q Johnson, who they just drafted. Don't aim for an explosive offense. Aim for an efficient offense. The difference is when you look around, you see all these guys like, yo, we go out there, we can put up 400-something plus yards, 20-something, 30-something points a game because we have all this firepower. That's where it breaks. Just be efficient. Make the right decision. Convert on 3rd down. Be super efficient in the red zone. And you'll see, you know what I'm saying, how all this comes together.
Everything works.
Yeah, I know. You see how excited I'm getting in football season.
Seriously.
Like I'm talking about, like I'm in it. Like I'm not gonna do this every show and all through football season, but I love this shit, man.
Speaking
Well,
of,
go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna
know.
say RSF Morrow 400. It's not a question. This is from the super chat. Can't wait for the I Am Athlete NFL Fantasy League.
Oh yeah.
I think that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
Well, I know, switching gears for the last few minutes of the show, everybody was asking us, if we were going to talk about this because we weren't on air when it happened. Brandon was traveling the world.
2 countries.
Okay, flex. But everybody was asking if we were going to address and share our thoughts on what recently happened at ESPN. So, Brandon, if you want to start us off there, what did you make, some of people that we know or may not know that we're just fans of watching on TV or that we have personal relationships were let go from the company last week. What did you make of the mass exodus?
I promise you guys this is not staged. This was not produced. but I wrote about this. Right,
Where?
like I wrote about it in Africa. Like when I left,
Like a
and
personal
yeah, I
writing?
left, and I got almost
About it?
tears in my eyes, like because I left the slave castle, and you know, when I went to the slave castle in Ghana, right, Cape Coast, and this is where 3 million slaves, no, 3 million Africans, black people, left to make that journey over to America, and half of them didn't make it. Right, we're talking about harsh conditions.
Well, they didn't leave; they were taken.
Taken.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I'm sitting there, and as I, walked out, because like I think a lot of us over here, we're numb, we're very fortunate, and we're very privileged. And so I was like, I wasn't really feeling what I thought I was going to feel in the castle. So let me write and see what comes up, right? And I like associated what I was experiencing at the castle to what was happening at ESPN, and this is what I wrote, and it's rough. Like I'm gonna put it out later, but I said freedom is the word that comes to mind as I lay in Ghana, West Africa, reading about ESPN recent layoffs. This week we walked the slave castle where 3 million black men, women, and children were chained, beaten, raped, sold, and shipped to foreign lands, then turned into property. What I learned here was our strength, power, was what stood out to the machinery. The machinery was needed to build the new world, America. The problem was there was nothing to pull or move the machinery that had the strength and power. So the strength and power captivated the Europeans, and unfortunately quickly turned to their solution in the West. Meaning, like they were developing this new land, and they needed machinery, but they couldn't move the machinery, and they were like taken aback by our strength and power. They saw how we were carrying things. And so originally the Portuguese like came in with good intentions to spread Christianity. And then when they saw how valuable and how, powerful the continent was and the people was, other people start coming, and they just like change like everything. So what I wrote here, and I'll be quick here because I wrote so much, and I just basically I said what I learned here was our strength power was what stood out to the machinery. What stood out. Machinery was needed to build the new world, America. The problem was there was nothing to pull or move the machinery, so the strength and power that captivated the Europeans unfortunately quickly turned to their solution in the West. As I learned more from our people about what happened years ago, it's hard to ignore how the trauma from then continues to enslave us today, right? We built ESPN the same way we built America. It's time to build out our own, but it's time for us to be owners of the very thing that it's going to start with us thinking bigger. So what I was writing, and it's still like a rough draft, is like, when you think about ESPN, the talent there, the athletes, the minority men and women that like tell those stories, that create the stories there for people to talk about and digest, it comes from us. And so it's unfortunate that we've seen some of our brothers and sisters be let go, but I look at it as an opportunity. Like, fuck that. Like, drop those chains and like come over, go do what Pat McAfee did. Pat McAfee, before he went to ESPN, he was making $50 million a year, almost $50 million a year on YouTube, right? Look at what some of the others are doing. Like, you can own your own IP. You can distribute your own content omni-channel. So, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, like, you built ESPN. Go build your own. And so those are my thoughts when I was in Ghana, and I saw the layoffs happen with so many talented men and women, Ashley.
I mean, some will say, though, that the Pat McAfee deal was one of the reasons they had to lay off so many people.
Mm-hmm. I saw that as well.
You know, you give one person an $85 million contract, that money has to come from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And you have to trim the fat somewhere. You don't have a disposable income. You're paying Stephen A. Smith $8 million a year. That comes from somewhere. I mean, we all know the story of Maria Taylor wanting a certain payday upward to what Stephen A. Smith was getting paid, and she was doing a lot for the network at the time, and they told her, we're not paying you that. So it's unfortunate when networks kind of pick and choose, who they're going to give big paydays to. But then on top of that, it's also unfortunate because with that big payday, there's the reason you see Stephen A. on almost everything. And while they're doing that, because if I'm paying you $8 million, I'm going to utilize you in so many different ways, the network suffers in sense of how it relates to fans, because do you want to see Stephen A. Smith on ESPN 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
No. What makes sports talk interesting, whether you like it or not, whether you disagree or not, is the different personalities and the different takes and the different opinions. And when you lose that authenticity, you lose that diverse, open discourse that comes from sports talk. Even in this room, the four of us don't always have the same opinions, but that's what makes a conversation a conversation. Exactly. And when you start to remove that and dial that back, you lose what makes sports talk interesting and what makes it enjoyable to watch, because now you're dealing with the same opinions. So It's frustrating and it's unfortunate.
Well, I got to be honest here. I think that, all the Smokes of the world, the I Am Athletes of the world, even the Uninterrupteds, the Players Tribune, the Pat McAfees of the world is one of the reasons why the ESPNs, the FS1s are in trouble. They've been around for a long time. They're dinosaurs. But when we're able to come on YouTube or distribute our content on Twitch or wherever and have big audiences, that's a direct threat to them, because those eyeballs and that viewership is now going from linear to people like ourselves. So what we should be looking at, and this is why I said, okay, cool, there's no time to sob. It's time to celebrate because it's opportunity. But people are afraid to take these chances. When you say new media, Draymond kind of highlighted this and made it famous when Golden State Warriors 2 years ago won their, fourth title. He went from, sitting in front of his locker after a game getting kicked out and waiting for ESPN and everyone from FS1 and different men and women on the beat and bloggers just, answer their questions, to going in this hotel and hey, you want to hear my thoughts? You got to listen on a Draymond Green podcast, whatever the hell it's called, right? And that's new media, right? And so we have an opportunity to really build our own audiences. Now, the challenge for us is, can we monetize? Can we bring in brands and sponsors without losing our authentic voice? Can we bring in brands and advertisers without diluting our brand? That's the challenge. Can we stand up teams? Can we build out teams? But we should be looking at this as a huge opportunity. It's not just Pat. When you look at Pat McAfee, I hear what you're saying, because you're right, Ashley. But it's not just Pat McAfee. It's all of us that's disrupting, what ESPN is doing and in FS1, right? We used to go there to break our stories. Now you got guys making their announcements, their decision on Twitter and Instagram, right? We had it here. And then also you got to understand the global economy. They're not the only ones. Google had massive layoffs, right? All the major corporations, everyone.
Yeah, no, that was massive. Disney. Disney had 7,000.
Disney, okay. Google, all the big corporations have had massive.
But it's interesting because Disney, I'm forgetting what it's called. I think it's called an RPNL or something like that. So Disney as a company, as an overall company, because Disney owns ABC, ESPN, all. Disney itself isn't doing well, which is why they had to lay off 7,000 people. But ESPN, which is the article I read the other day, which is why they're separating the two, because ESPN's profitable. They're actually doing well as a company. Mm-hmm. The parent they're not in the red, they're doing well. Disney as a company is not doing well, which is what their layoffs are coming from. But when your parent company is not doing well, they will try to cut costs from their sister companies that may be doing well to go ahead and soften the blow of the mothership, if you will. So it may not even be ESPN as its own entity, but because mother's not happy, now everyone's unhappy.
Everybody's suffering.
And you guys will see me wear a hat, it's a black hat and it says EBITDA on it, EBIT, things before interest, taxes, and amortization, right? And so like what Ashley's talking about, and this is why we got to understand these things. And this is what that first part of my trip was about in Cannes. Like I'm sitting down with the biggest advertisers and brands out there. It's all about relationships. But now you go from having a $100 million budget to $50 million budget. So they're sitting on their wallets and they're not really spending because of where the global economy is at. Look at NASDAQ, look at our stock market, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm saying that because the problem is you can be in the black, Ashley, but what they're looking at is the healthy margins. Like we don't want to see 5%, 10%. They want to see 30 to 35%. Now 35 might be a lot, right? And that's what it's about. And so all of us in this space now, content creators, stop thinking like creators. Stop thinking like, talent, and think like a business, understanding the entire market, the budgets and the system. Like people are doing upfronts, and how do we connect with brands? How do we monetize our platforms? How do they think, right? And for so long, and that's why I wrote that like we're still enslaved, is because we just show up. I'm talent. I'm creating great content, and we just getting, these checks. But if we actually understood the global economy, how the whole system works, where we're at today, who's spending, how they're spending, and how that affects us, then we'll be in better position. But we're in an interesting time right now, Ashley, where you can make millions of dollars on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well,
point blank period.
Definitely just want to wish everybody the best. Anytime anyone loses their job, especially a job they've been at for many, many years, it's unfortunate. It's an adjustment. It's going into the unknown, and some people have, their next step planned out, and some people
go to YouTube
weren't prepared for this, and it's going to take them a little bit longer to land on their feet. So wishing everybody the very, very best in their new chapters and I am, as y'all know, Jalen Rose is family to me.
Come over here.
That's my big brother.
Come on over here.
So I'm wishing him the very, very best, and everybody else who was involved. Some of my personal favorites at ESPN are no longer there.
I ain't spending no time. Listen, that was very beautiful what you just
I wish
said.
y'all the best, for real.
There you go. Let's cut that.
One door
Let's make
closes,
sure we clip
another
that.
opens.
We put that out for Ashley. And
we don't have to put that out. I'm just sending.
It was very beautiful.
It could be any of us.
No, that's the problem. That's the point.
I mean, it could be.
No, we ain't. We have ownership of our own shit.
No, but it could be. It may not be you in this space. It could be you in a different space, or maybe you lose an endorsement deal that you once had.
That's the problem. We got to stop thinking like that. So you know what? So, and this is what we talked about with Angel Reese. I know we got to land the plane here. And also, we are still in this position because we're on YouTube. We can say whatever we want to say. We can do whatever we want to do. But if something happens to YouTube, we have no more distribution. So the next phase for us creators is creating our own channels, our own platforms that we own and operate. Oh, Twitter's down, Instagram's down. We go crazy for 6 hours because Instagram and Twitter's down. Well, what happens to our platform if it's down? Right? So like this is the next phase of it. And then the other thing that we need to think about is our own products, because we're in a global recession right now, or whatever you want to call it. Some people are scared to talk about it, but like it's all messed up. Brands ain't spending money. They're not. And it's affecting everybody. So what do you have? We all got to look at this. We just came through a global pandemic. What do you have? You better be thinking about a product that you own and operate. Beauty, health and wellness, media, something, educational platform, something. Like I can talk about this forever.
That
I'm
entrepreneur, right?
Huh?
Spark that entrepreneur in
Yeah,
yourself.
not everybody's an entrepreneur, but like basically you got to be okay with if you take that employment route, then you got to be okay with your livelihood and your destiny in the hands of somebody else. That shit's uncomfortable. That's an amazing episode of
And on that note,
yeah, right. You brought it up.
I didn't think it was going to go this deep. I just wanted to send people condolences. And
Condolences.
Just, but
congratulations.
15 minutes later.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if we say congratulations when people are laid off, but okay, sure. Corey?
That's a wrap. I'm going to let Boss Man close it out on his first episode.
We are back. We went extremely deep, and we had a great time today on this episode of Paper Route, presented by I Am Athlete. Appreciate everybody tuning in and watching us as we take our ownership and independence. We are fighting hard to break the news, to tell our story. So we appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys keep coming back. Subscribe, like, comment, give us your suggestions so we can keep getting better. But we will see you tomorrow. It doesn't stop.
I think we see him Wednesday, right?
Oh, is it Wednesday? We're off tomorrow?
Yeah, 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July tomorrow.
Happy
that's
Independence
good.
Day.
Okay, we're not laid off. We still have a job.
Right.
We're still here. Ashley's like, why are you talking like this? We'll see you Wednesday. Paper Route. Peace.
Have a safe 4th, everyone. Be smart. Don't play with fireworks.